There was no way she could be this erotic, right? Su Xing lowered his head to look at the completely threadbare Zhang Yuqi. Zhang Yuqi was in the middle of bathing naked in the Black Turtle Sea's dangerous waters, lazily basking in the sun, not afraid that anyone would come disturb her with the urgent sea's white spirit python guarding the surroundings. How could she have foreseen that someone would breach from the depths of the dangerous sea, and that it would be someone she was familiar with? White stripe in the wave. Zhang Yuqi temporarily thought that her eyes were deceiving her. Thus, she froze at that place, not hiding her body, plainly allowing Su Xing to see everything. Ah! Suddenly feeling the substantial scorch of Su Xing's gaze, only then did Zhang Yuqi wake up. However, she did not scream, angrily curse, or show any such exaggerated emotion as Su Xing had anticipated. Zhang Yuqi giggled, dove beneath the waves, and when she reappeared, she already put on a sexy outfit. Hey, Su Xing, did you turn into a voyeur because there's no one to help give you a blowjob this time? Zhang Yuqi used deliberate straightforwardness to cover the slight bit of bashfulness that girls naturally possessed. Even when she had been completely seen by Su Xing, she did not forget to find a facade. Su Xing laughed. Like Zhang Yuqi, he thought that he was dreaming. Just as I was missing you, I never thought that I would bump into you, Yuqi. Truly, we are connected by fate. However, you're too casual upon meeting, letting me see such a sexy figure. The urgency's white spirit python already returned at this time. Zhang Yuqi sat her butt on the serpent, kicking her legs, engrossingly said, "Am I really sexy?" Su Xing nodded. You truly are a melodramatic man. Damaged star. Zhang Yuqi covered her mouth. In short, if you aren't having a little sister give you a blowjob, then you're peeping at my naked body. Hey, hey. Upon seeing her raise that topic, Su Xing bluntly said, last time you peeped from the ocean depths, this time, it's my turn. This is truly fair. HM. Zhang Yuqi suddenly noticed the Hu Sanyang, who had been continuously standing at Su Xing's side with a very cold expression. Winking, she said, don't tell me, you got a new lover. How could I? This is my wife, bright star 10 feet of blue Hunyangzi. Su Xing introduced her. And that little sister thief star. Zhang Yuqi was perplexed. She's occupied for the time being and isn't here. Su Xing said. Really? Zhang Yuqi smiled. Do you feel like I'm fooling you? White stripe in the waves. Zhang Yuqi pretended to seriously ponder this possibility for a moment, and then she made her conclusion. I seem to feel that I shouldn't believe anything a man that peeps at my body says. Su Xing knew this damaged star's personality. The words of her mouth were very unforgiving. The more you tangled with her, the more excited she would be, probably. Seeing the Hu Sanyang to the side show a strange expression, Su Xing said, I'll tell you afterwards what happened with you, honor. Hunyangzi nodded. Little sister, greetings. I'm damaged star white stripe in the waves. Zhang Yuqi. You have to be careful of this man at your side. He likes to make star maidens give him blowjobs. Zhang Yuqi giggled. Hunyangzi's face turned red, and her expression was very strange. Zhang Yuqi, Su Xing glared at her, do you like blowjobs so much? He's mad. Zhang Yuqi covered her mouth. Dear husband, that matter. Bright star Hunyangzi reminded the two that now was not the time to flirt. Su Xing had all of a sudden nearly forgot. Zhang Yuqi, you still haven't signed a contract. Right, Yuqi can't find a man that can make Yuqi give a blowjob. Zhang Yuqi sighed. Heaven knew if her words were true or false. Su Xing directly ignored her blowjob statement, sternly asking, can you help me out with something? I'll owe you a favor, how about it? What thing? A blowjob is off limits. Zhang Yuqi giggled. Su Xing wildly perspired. For the first time, he regretted being seen by her that time. I want to go get Zhen Wu Divine Iron. This is, you're leisurely sunbathing anyways, Zhen Wu Divine Iron. Zhang Yuqi said, so that's how it is. This thing only exists in the depths of the Black Turtle Sea. How about it? You can go 10,000 li deep, right? Su Xing said. Hu Nyangzi wrinkled her brows as she listed to the side, feeling Su Xing's style of invitation was unavoidably too unreasonable. He was but a star master, to go make an uncontracted star general help him was practically a fantasy. The threat of martial force was the best method. A depth of 10,000 li doesn't count as anything, but Yuqi suddenly feels her body is very sore. Zhang Yuqi's eyeballs craftily turned. She collapsed weakly onto the urgency's white spirit python, somewhat unable to withstand the sunlight. You first help massage Yuqi. If Yuqi feels good, Hu Nyangzi stared. Su Xing flashed by and hopped onto the urgency's white spirit python. Do you really want me to give you a massage? Su Xing chuckled. No can do if it doesn't feel good. Zhang Yuqi said. Su Xing took in a slight breath. Since the person involved did not have any complaints, what could he grumble about? Zhang Yuqi gently undid the strings on her body. Losing the support of her top garment, Zhang Yuqi's spotlessly white back was reflected in Su Xing's eyes. Su Xing raised his brows, somewhat surprised. The white stripe in the waves was worthy of the name White Stripe in the Waves. Her flesh was especially snow-white, and in the moment she undressed, it was a practically blinding white, even that a direct look had a sort of profane feeling. Su Xing eased his mind, yet his heart unexpectedly somewhat sped up. Zhang Yuqi's charm originally was incomparable, and with Su Xing like this now, it could be said that this was the most intimate feeling in the world towards Zhang Yuqi's each and every move. No wonder he felt his chest was very stifled. You thought clearly, Su Xing once again repeated his question, unable to understand just what idea she had. Su Xing, don't tell me you're still shy. I certainly have always really wanted to know how Yuqi would feel when she is served by the star master that can make little sisters serve him. Zhang Yuqi closed her eyes, the corner of her lips wearing a captivating smile. Her long eyelashes jumped because of her cheerful mood. How could Su Xing have known that after he left Evil Smiting Hall, Zhang Yuqi often would think of Shi Yuan's mien at that time? This, to the white stripe in the waves, was a very big shock. No wonder she would remember the blowjob so vividly, mention it so often. All right. Su Xing also felt that he was too apprehensive. He did not care that much. He first brought out a white lotion and smeared it on his hands. What is this? Zhang Yuqi did not understand. This is spirit lotion, very beneficial for the skin. Su Xing said. You're rather attentive. Zhang Yuqi giggled. Su Xing harumphed and then rubbed Zhang Yuqi's glossy back. When his fingertips touched Zhang Yuqi's pure white back, a sort of electric current pervaded his whole body. Su Xing shuddered and took a deep breath. Zhang Yuqi's body simply was unimaginably soft. From barely a touch, the blood in his body accelerated, and a sort of hormone erupted even harder. How is her skin so soft? It's inconceivably glossier than silk. Zhang Yuqi moaned, closing her eyes. This was not at all the first time Su Xing was in such intimate contact. After his brief awkwardness, he restrained the sense of charm in his mind, concentrating on putting himself into helping apply lotion to Zhang Yuqi. The lotion slipped along the girl's back. His palms gently rubbed, relying on that innate skill medical arts that he inherited from Ansuan. Su Xing still remembered some acupuncture points that were of great benefit to massages, and in accordance with Earth's acupuncture point massages, he stroked bit by bit. Zhang Yuqi slightly opened her eyes, casting a glance behind her, her cheeks crimson. She herself was not even aware that the grin on her face was somewhat charming. Immediately, she slowly closed her eyes, comfortably saying, Su Xing, your handiwork is pretty good, I even thought you were a careless man. Ah. Su Xing smiled, it's appropriate to grasp the seriousness of things. This isn't very hard. If you're willing, I can even make you feel even better. Su Xing's words were somewhat dubious. Zhang Yuqi did not understand. How good? Even better than a blowjob. It was Su Xing's turn to deride her. Only then did Zhang Yuqi understand what Su Xing's so-called feel even better meant. She chuckled, not responding. She closed her eyes and enjoyed Su Xing's massage. The gentle touch of his fingertips made Zhang Yuqi's whole body limp. Her chest was gently brushed by those fingertips, bringing a strange stimulation. Slowly, the snow-white skin of Zhang Yuqi's whole body carried fiery red clouds. Hot. Her body was very hot. Zhang Yuqi suddenly somewhat regretted allowing Su Xing to massage her. That man's hands seemingly had magic. He straddled her butt, and Zhang Yuqi could even feel a hard object, too, pressing against her rear. How could she not know what that thing was? Following every exertion of Su Xing's fingers, that hard thing would directly strike her sensitive spot, causing her to become slightly moist. Although Zhang Yuqi really wanted to stop him, this kind of feeling honestly was unprecedented. To have Su Xing stop, what broke away from her throat would be an alluring moan. Su Xing used the finger technique that Suan once massaged him with. How could Zhang Yuqi not taste defeat under this sort of fingering? Hunyangzi watched from the side, red in the face and ears, her brows locked tight, somewhat unable to make sense of the situation before her. White stripe in the waves unexpectedly allowed a star master to undertake such audacious actions. Just what was this Su Xing's identity? And he even had that thief star give him a blowjob. Hunyangzi recalled when Su Xing rushed over to save her in the deep sea. Her heart shuddered, vaguely understanding just a bit. After a very long massage, Zhang Yuqi was somewhat unable to bear it. Su Xing also was burning with a little bit of desire. Just at this moment, the urgent sea's white spirit python let out a hiss. Su Xing and Zhang Yuqi simultaneously sensed something was not right. Su Xing immediately ended the massage, and Zhang Yuqi rose. Far away, several dozen swordlight were currently flying over them again. Zhang Yuqi pursed her lips. Who are they? Su Xing asked. The 3 Ruan's water fort. Zhang Yuqi answered, suddenly noticing Su Xing's gaze was glued to her chest. Zhang Yuqi lowered her head and yelped. She had temporarily forgotten to wear a top, so the erotic side of her breasts was completely exposed. Instantly, the cultivators of the 3 Ruan's water fort arrived in front of them. These cultivators wore blue robes, and some were dressed as fishermen. Their cultivations were impressive, and the leader was a silent as stone woman. She was beautiful, wore an irregularly patterned dress, and she straddled a sea dragon beast. The weapon she held in her hand was a dragon-headed dagger, with 4 twinkling stars. Dragon King Dagger. 3. Su Xing was greatly surprised upon seeing that star weapon. The rank 31st defeats Star Living King Yama Ruan Xiaoqi. Su Xing restrained the urge to use the birth treasure outline, so as to avoid giving rise to unexpected twists and turns. Hunyangzi's eyes were vigilant, secretly gripping her double sabers as she blocked in front of Su Xing. Defeat Star Ruan Xiaoqi glanced at everyone. Seeing Su Xing and Hu Sanyang, that stone-like appearance showed astonishment, but she recovered extremely quickly. Immediately afterwards, her gaze again returned to Zhang Yuqi. Zhang Yuqi, will you not introduce this man? Mei'er, 5, there is no need for this. He has nothing to do with you people. Zhang Yuqi smiled. Oh. Zhang Yuqi, then have you carefully considered elder sister's offer? Defeat Star Ruan Xiaoqi indifferently asked. Zhang Yuqi likes to be alone, free and easy. I fear I am not suitable for recruitment into the water fort. For little sister's kind intentions, elder sister appreciates but politely refuses. Zhang Yuqi thanks you. Zhang Yuqi slightly smiled. Ruan Xiaoqi was silent. Elder sister knew that elder sister Yuqi would refuse, so she had Mei'er ask elder sister for the privilege of going to the water fort to reminisce. No need, Yuqi often turns everything over once she is drunk. If Yuqi damaged the water fort, that would not be good. Zhang Yuqi's words carried a trace of menace. The expressions of the 3 Ruan's water fort cultivators changed, yet no one dared say anything. Damaged Star White Stripe in the waves. Zhang Yuqi was also a renowned aquatic general. If she truly wished to destroy the water fort, perhaps she could not be stopped. Elder sister Yuqi makes things very difficult for Mei'er. Mei'er wrinkled her brow. Could it be that elder sister Yuchi does not wish to work with us for a common purpose? Elder sister said that once the Black Turtle Temple opens, if there is no one to support you, elder sister Zhang Yuchi will not walk very far. Many thanks for the reminder, but Yuchi has already found someone. Zhang Yuchi smiled. Is it this star master? Mei'er expressionlessly gazed at Su Xing, whose Sanyang's double sabers were in her hands, golden wind and morning dew shining brightly. Elder sister Yuchi surprisingly believes in a star master. Little sister must know of Yuchi's star weapon. Zhang Yuchi suddenly smiled. On her middle finger appeared a gorgeous, water blue ring. This ring's faint glow swept across Ruan Mei'er and Su Xing's bodies. It circulated 4 stars. 4 star white water mirror heart. Su Xing was astonished. Although Su Xing is a bit lustful, he is a man. Generally, this means he wants to create a harem. It's unavoidable, but in all other aspects, he is clearly even more comforting to elder sister than little sister can be. Only then did Su Xing understand the massage just now really was not Zhang Yuchi actually wishing to enjoy it. She merely exploited this sort of intimate skin contact to test him. If he was an average man, not only would he be flustered over the massage, he would even unavoidably take audacious actions when confronted with Zhang Yuchi's completely defenseless back. Su Xing's body might as well have reacted a bit too stiffly. Everything else he showed was exceptionally perfect. This damaged star white stripe in the waves was all smiles on the surface, but on the inside, she was considerably meticulous. It seemed she honestly could not be underestimated. Worthy of the one who possessed the white water mirror heart. Ruan Mei'er had no words to say. White water mirror heart was capable of sensing the inner good and evil of her counterpart. Because of this, Zhang Yuchi was always incapable of finding a star master that was to her liking. Since Zhang Yuchi said that Su Xing made her more at ease, this proved her words were true. Everyone was silent for a moment. Defeat star living king Yama. Ruan Mei'er said to Su Xing, there is no other way if elder sister Yuchi says so. However, Mei'er also worries for elder sister. Would it not be better to let Mei'er test if this man has the qualifications to protect elder sister? This way, Mei'er can return and report back to elder sister. Zhang Yuchi shrugged her shoulders, actually appearing indifferent. She looked to Su Xing, laughing into her sleeve, my darling young, 6, Su, what do you think? What is there to waste breath on? Directly begin your attack. Hun Yangzi blocked in front, her murderous aura appearing. Su Xing patted her shoulder, hinting to Hu Sanyang to not be impulsive. Do you dare accept? Ruan Mei'er said. This wife represents dear husband. Do not waste your breath, make your move. Hun Yangzi raised her double sabers. Then allow Mei'er to personally come test you. Ruan Mei'er leapt down from the Dragon King beast. The next moment, several dozen magnificent arcs of wind launched from Ruan Mei'er's Dragon King dagger, turning the entire sea into an ocean of wind and fire. The green hurricane blew great waves on the ocean's surface. Su Xing and Zhang Yuchi retreated a certain distance, leaving the space to them. Having just emerged from the deep sea, Su Xing's present state was not that good, thus he allowed Hun Yangzi to go confront the heavenly star. The golden wind and morning dew double sabers slashed out layer after layer of murderous chi. The aura of death the double sabers created was similarly incapable of completely absorbing into the entire battlefield, permeating across the flow of the hurricane's killing intent. Killing intents rolled about. Ruan Mei'er was very calm, placing the Dragon King dagger in front of her. A hurricane flowed out that covered her in a barrier of wind. Her whole body was enveloped within this barrier of wind, yet Ruan Mei'er's clothes were not damaged at all. A disdainful sneer. Saber light danced, an array of blue directly penetrated that defense, treating the barrier of wind as if it did not exist. This was Bright Star 10 feet of blue's yellow rank saber technique, hate transmission. Hate transmission's saber technique could ignore defenses to a large degree. Ruan Mei'er immediately felt her body begging to twitch. Then, she felt pain, and subsequently, she tasted a difficult-to-endure suffering. That kind was as if her soul had been set aflame. She was swallowed by an unforgettable pain, which directly came from the level of the spirit. Hate. The flowing, torrential killing intent covered her. Ruan Mei'er's only choice was to escape using all of her strength. Even if she had the occasional chance to engage in close combat, she still could only give up. Under the attack of such intense hate, normal flesh wounds would instantly be healed, but if she was incapable of killing in a single blow, her attack completely lacked meaning. She needed to create time to grasp that unknown determination. Ruan Mei'er's hard expression flickered with a radiance that completely lacked doubt about this judgment. Then, the Hunyangzi who similarly understood this point could not be considered as giving her opponent any chances. The bright star's strength obtained success with a single stroke. The instant 10 feet of blue waved her blade, the girl would not hold back at all. With every shake of her double sabers, the battlefield would erupt with a stormy blue, crushing her target as if she was a mountain bearing down on her. Under this surging attack, the wind barrier protecting living King Yama began to gradually weaken. She appeared to be just like a leaf about to be submerged in stormy waters, alarming the other people from the 3 Ruan's water fort. Bang! Ruan Mei'er finally shook apart Hunyangzi's pressure. A beam of cold light flashed past her eyes. Now, she hovered in the air above the ocean. Yellow technique, Dragon King's thundering roar. 7. The Dragon King dagger appeared once again. The ocean rolled and turned, and Husanyang was surrounded and forced back by the surging tide. For the next wave, so long as she attacked with full power, the protection of those double sabers definitely would very quickly collapse. The battle had only just begun. Under the urging of Ruan Mei'er's divine intent, the seawater formed a water dragon that pounced like a living beast. The enormous momentum struck Husanyang into the air. Then, just when the defeat star planned to destroy Husanyang's defenses, an abrupt stop without any warning nevertheless made the embattled living King Yama distracted for an instant. How is this possible? The shout that broke free of Ruan Mei'er's mouth carried slight astonishment. At the same time, an ice-cold and sharp expression flashed across Hunyangzi's eyes. Su Xing was currently closely monitoring Husanyang's each and every move. If she had any sign of being at a disadvantage, Su Xing would not hesitate at all to act. Seeing him that concerned, Zhang Yuqi laughed. Bright star 10 feet of blue Husanyang, an earthly star 4 heavenly king. Just how did you contract her? Can you contract too? She is my 10th wife. Su Xing corrected her mistake. Your 10th wife? Are you truly so unfaithful in love that you don't fear ruining your flute? Zhang Yuqi smiled. Clearly, she did not know that the 10th Su Xing spoke of was a star general. Su Xing was silent. Zhang Yuqi, when will your mouth be sweeter? Could it be that sweeter means that blowing will feel even better? Zhang Yuqi nearly split her sides laughing. Does little sister Thief Star actually have things to do? Zhang Yuqi asked. And, what's the point of deceiving you? Next time, I'll take you over to see her. Su Xing said candidly. Then I'll believe you. Zhang Yuqi still felt that Su Xing suddenly contracting Hunyangzi was somewhat an exaggeration. Asking about the course of events leading to their contract, apparently, it was even more irregular. Right, Yuqi, want to sign a contract with me? Su Xing asked. Right now, he felt as if he had an unlimited contracts bug. 8. He did not mind contracting with star maidens he had a favorable opinion of. By doing so, he could avoid future star duels. You are honestly unfaithful, having already contracted 2. Zhang Yuqi shook her head. I have contracted 10. Su Xing reminded. 10, do you mean to say the 10 wives you just spoke of are all? Zhang Yuqi was shaken. Su Xing nodded. Zhang Yuqi pursed her lips. How could she believe this kind of fantasy? And what if I actually can contract then? Su Xing asked. Yuqi will not contract with you. Zhang Yuqi seriously replied. Why? Su Xing was bewildered. Because I'm unable to do blowjobs. Zhang Yuqi laughed aloud. Su Xing had a sort of urge to push her down, to make her have her fill of blows. I can't stand you. Shaking his head, his gaze returned to Hu Sanyang and Ruan Mei'er's battle. Pressured to verge of utter defeat by Hu Sanyang's double sabers, the defeat star was very clear that the top priority was to keep the bright star far away from herself, and to not give her opponent any chances to land a single lethal strike. This, Living King Yama thoroughly understood. At the same time Dragon King's thunderous roar flew over, Living King Yama once again raised the Dragon King dagger. The 4-star destined weapon let out a dragon roar. Her surroundings blew with a gale. Not only this, but the Dragon King dagger and defeat star Living King Yama Ruan Mei'er's hands instantly dimmed. Suddenly, as if in response, the green light of the Dragon King dagger in her hands was increasingly concentrated, gradually forming a dragon head. With pinpricks of light for glowering eyes, it was just like that most brilliant North Star in the pitch-dark sky. Living King Yama staked everything on this, unexpectedly concentrating all of her star energy. After unleashing her first yellow rank, the second dark rank star magic already was following up. Following Dragon King's thunderous roar, the double sabers were glimpsed for that instant. Then, defeat star Ruan Mei'er finally launched her powerful attack. Dark rank technique. Azure Dragon breaking Eastern Wind. 9. Ruan Mei'er's wrist suddenly shook. The Dragon King Stave's Azure Dragon flew out, turning into the sharpest weapon under the guidance of the gale and tsunamis. It cut apart the turbulent waves, pierced through the stagnant air, instantly crossing over the entire battlefield, shooting directly at Hu Sanyang's heart. The attack that concentrated all of defeat star Living King Yama Ruan Mei'er's power seemingly stifled the surrounding air. It was fully loaded with an absolutely terrifying penetrative power, and Hu Nyangzi could only evade. With the situation critical, the double sabers became an illusory arc, finally interlocking with the whirling Azure Dragon killing intent, but the short saber known as Morning Dew nevertheless easily cut it apart. In an instant, that short saber was used in place of a shield. The Azure Dragon bit onto the short saber, and in that instant, the light of Morning Dew was thoroughly devoured. Not only Hu Sanyang herself, but even the defeat star was considerably surprised. The bright star had surprisingly sacrificed the protection of her double sabers. In this surprising instant, a gap was completely visible. The decisive moment already had been produced, and the next thing to do was to take it. Hu Nyangzi's eyes burned with a scarlet flame the color of blood, suddenly seizing upon her chance. The other golden wind manifested an even more exaggerated and brilliant light. Not good. Defeat star Ruan Mei'er was startled, leaking cold sweat. She immediately spun the Dragon King dagger. A giant green aura of death became an azure dragon that covered her, like the fangs of a savage hungry wolf on the prairie against the horizon. The next moment, Hu Nyangzi's eyes drew two shining light trails in the air. The bright star demonstrated her light smoke dance steps. Her alluring figure moved at a speed incapable of being followed by the naked eye, passing by the rolling substantive killing intent. The surging azure dragon killing intent even was incapable of hitting the afterimages that trailed after her. In the span of the blink of an eye, that gale already flit across the entire grounds, directly shooting for the startled Ruan Mei'er. She honestly could choose her moment. Ruan Mei'er's brows wrinkled. She already was incapable of using her dark rank technique any further. Her burst of continuous star energy had started to weaken due to the dark rank from earlier. Regardless of how she attacked with star magic, Hu Nyangzi still nevertheless charged towards this place with her utmost. Now, the only choice was to engage in hand-to-hand combat. If you do not think this can easily reach success in one smooth stroke, then you are gravely mistaken. King Yama demands blood. 10. Ruan Mei'er's eyes were completely fearless. Living King Yama was just like her nickname. Outside of very high attainment in star magic, her martial force also was not to be underestimated. The instant Hu Sanyang's high leap fiercely slashed down from midair, the shrieking blades of wind from the defeat star's Dragon King dagger soared into the sky, carrying a pure golden light. A great expanse of red sprinkled towards her head. Under the blossoming sunlight, it bloomed. Ruan Mei'er's attack injured Hunyangzi, and it was at the moment Hunyangzi was completely launching her attack. But amidst the scarlet downpour, Ruan Mei'er's eyes showed inconceivable shock. In the time of this frozen moment, a glint flit past Hunyangzi's eyes. That sort of expression seemingly said that what she had been waiting for was precisely Ruan Mei'er's full power strike. Hunyangzi softly fell in front of Ruan Mei'er. In one hand, she raised golden wind. The short saber and the Dragon King dagger stopped in midair. Before the rain of blood fell, the saber chi was being drawn towards the middle without any way to stop, and through it, Hu Sanyang maintained a smooth posture. Even Ruan Mei'er with her excellent vision was incapable of seeing this movement. Her figure landed. Hunyangzi finally broke through all the defenses. Her short saber squarely stuck her target's weak belly. The powerful strike in that instant pierced living King Yama's body, making the airflow behind her radiate in all directions with deep cracks. A burst of thick blood suddenly erupted from the defeat star's mouth. Truly, this Nyangzi is a bit apologetic. Hunyangzi's voice floated over, distant as if she was not here in this world. Ruan Mei'er showed disbelief. Just at this moment, two biting cold chills attacked from the surroundings. Hunyangzi had long been on guard. Two of the water fort's cultivators finally took action. Do not disturb my wife. Before Hu Sanyang could take action, Su Xing already leapt forth. The countless flying swords of the cultivators reflected in the air. Their body techniques were similarly exceptional. In a direct confrontation, they completely were not at a disadvantage. When the battle began, after the three Ruan's water fort's supercluster cultivator once again launched, Su Xing defeated two people with one blow. After this, a cultivator's figure already suddenly scuttled out, rolling an intense whirlwind towards him. They planned to continue this unfinished battle. The speed was fast, practically to being like a bolt of black lightning. In terms of speed, Su Xing certainly was not slow. Several dozen units of distance was crossed in practically an instant, and immediately after he arrived, there were still those sharp weapons bearing their fangs. Due to their high speed, although the cultivators did not possess any formidable strength, they nevertheless were capable of attaining considerable physical injury. If they were touched by the claws of his full-speed charge, even a stronger star energy would be inevitably pierced through. It looked like he needed to teach them a lesson. Su Xing curled his lips, turned around, and pointed a finger. The air was filled with a frightening shriek. He attacked with Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder. How could the pitiful cultivator's imposing air that only looked fierce be able to catch onto Su Xing's long already concentrated full power strike? Surprisingly, he did not withstand even a single face-to-face meeting. He was struck by Su Xing's cruel Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder. His body unexpectedly was lifted high up and flung far, far away. At the same time, Su Xing's silhouette once again suddenly vanished from where he stood. When he reappeared, he already arrived behind another cultivator in a sneak attack. He turned pale with fright. Su Xing's speed far exceeded this cultivator's calculations, and in his shock, he did not even have the chance to react. His head was seized by a giant hand from behind him. The experience of countless battles allowed Su Xing to pick things up in passing, to fight with a star general. How could these cultivators be his opponent? One hand grabbed this cultivator's head from behind, and suddenly, he hastily ascended into the sky, like a fire arrow. Because the speed was too quick, the course of all of his movements completely could not be seen. His speed made the defenders capable of only powerlessly struggling, putting enormous pressure on him. To move even a finger too extreme difficulty. In no more than an instant, Su Xing already reached several zhang into the sky. Beautifully turning around in the air, one hand once again pressed on the cultivator's cranium. The entire person was thrown down head first, violently falling like a meteor. He fell among the other cultivators, making their next attack crumble. Boom! A terrifying noise. Countless waves and fragments of chi shot in all direction. A giant chi wave surprisingly rose more than 1 zhang high, like a real tidal wave, raising a terrible tide. In the blink of an eye, he made everyone's attacks stop. The giant urgent sea's white spirit python opened its maw, flicking out its tongue. Living King Yama Ruan Mei'er at this time also fled Husanyang's attack. Although Hunyangzi wanted to kill her, but on these seas, living King Yama was a heavenly star water general. Several bolts of star magic made Hunyangzi's attacks result in failure. Stop! Seeing that the situation was increasingly hopeless, Ruan Mei'er promptly shouted. Excuse little sister, you ought to believe Yuchi's perspective now. Zhang Yuchi smiled and said. Mei'er shall inform elder sister as such. Defeat star Ruan Mei'er cast another star magic, and the wounds on her body instantly healed. You make it sound so pleasant. Next time, Yuchi shall go seek out little sister Jiner, 11, for a drink. Zhang Yuchi smiled. Ruan Mei'er expressionlessly nodded, glancing at Su Xing. She did not say anything more, immediately following everyone else and flying away from this place. Just what the hell is going on? Su Xing asked. The Three Ruan's water fort, the Black Turtle territory has very big influence. Zhang Yuchi helplessly said. That's so. I'll tell you when we get back. Zhang Yuchi smiled, again looking at Husanyang. Little sister is too impulsive. If Ruan Mei'er actually was enraged, she would not be so easy to sort out. Is she very powerful? Su Xing could not tell. White stripe in the waves. Zhang Yuchi nodded. Living King Yama's nickname is not in vain, but it's best to not see her face. Oh. Hearing her mysterious words, Su Xing somewhat was regretful that he did not use the birth treasure outline on her. Right, Yuchi, do you actually agree to help me? Su Xing returned to this topic. Zhang Yuchi winked. My darling young Su, do not mistrust me, you certainly can make thief star blow, you still speak of that, do you believe I won't eat you out? 12, Su Xing glared at her. He. Zhang Yuchi covered her smile. Seeing that Su Xing and Husanyang were somewhat weak from only just emerging from the deep sea, first follow Yuchi back and rest for a bit, right? Yuchi also has a request she wants to ask young Su. No problem. Su Xing nodded, turning his head to look at Husanyang. What about wife? None. Hunyangzi shook her head. Her tenacious appearance made Su Xing wryly smile. He thought of Lin Yingmei and wondered how she was right now. Su Xing gazed at the horizon and slightly sighed. This extremely longing expression made Zhang Yuchi and Hunyangzi both somewhat curious. Jade Dragon Snowy Mountain. 1, bang. Amidst tremendous noise, a blizzard dispersed. An iron-like shadow attack, and the figure of a human-shaped demon beast was like a kite with its string severed. It fell suddenly from the sky, the two weapon wings on its back flapped futilely, yet they could not offer the slightest bit of use. As it fell, the figure of a mighty young girl cold as ice and snow abruptly appeared behind the demon beast, rolling like a violent gale. She spun her spear and stabbed, right into the center of the demon beast's back. Enormous strength thereupon burst. The pitiful demon beast did not even have the chance to react. It suddenly shot away, the crisp sound of bones breaking stirring the air, making one shudder, but not from cold. What a pity that Lin Yingmei's attack had only just begun. Because Lin Yingmei's attack was excessively intense, the demon beast's star energy defense covering completely only put up futile resistance. This made Lin Yingmei's consecutive attacks become endless. The violent spear flung, its body flying up and rolling. A mighty shout already came out of Lin Yingmei's mouth, and an immense whirlwind suddenly tore upon the demon beast's body, forcing its flying body to stop in the air. Immediately, Lin Yingmei's killing intent once again descended. Bang, bang, the sounds linked into one. Instantly, Lin Yingmei's spear transformed into a dazzling attack. A terrifying noise resounded in the air, and with a spin, the violent attacks would link together into one. The Arctic Star Serpent's spear twinkled with a brilliant red light. The mournful wind filled every inch of space, and in the middle was mixed the demon beast's muffled groans. Suddenly, it snapped in two, and at the same time, it spat out a blue gem. Seeing that demon beast pellet-like gem, Lin Yingmei's divine intent rolled over. Worthy of majestic star Lin Chong, you honestly are formidable, for the ice jade lizard, 13, to be unexpectedly unable to withstand a single blow. Just at this moment, a soft laugh sounded out. Lin Yingmei seemed to have long already known. She merely did not speak, clutched her spear and faced the newcomer. The blizzard in the forest whooshed apart, and a cold and graceful young woman walked out. Her complexion was calm, with a sort of indescribable gracefulness, and her hand held a bow and arrow. Seeing her, Lin Yingmei curled into a smile. Hua Rong. This woman was none other than Hua Wanyue. Lin Chong, I hear that you and the Purple Thunder Monster signed a contract. Hua Wanyue's expression stared. The heaven-earth-sun-moon bow was beginning to stir. The radiance of 3 stars made Lin Yingmei unable to help but squint her eyes. You truly make me disappointed. I decided to not sign a contract, yet I never expected that the majestic star has not signed a contract in 1,000 years would make an exception. She practically did not give Lin Yingmei any time to reply, drawing the bow to a full moon. Bang! An arrow of crimson light shot out from the bow. The snow to the sides of its path melted. Spearlight broke, and Lin Yingmei directly cut down this arrow. Then allow me to see just how different the majestic star who has signed a contract is. Accompanying this assertion of no surrender, Hua Wanyue leapt into the air. A red Ruan bird appeared, and Hua Wanyue stepped onto its back. Without hesitation, she fired, danced through the willows. The arrow lights suddenly shattered into countless more lights, and each beam evaporated the icy air, falling towards Lin Yingmei. Lin Yingmei quickly stepped back as the forest filled with wild booms. The snowflakes filling the sky drowned out any lines of sight, but Hua Wanyue curled the corner of her lips into a grin. Within a range of 10 li, the trail of a flying bird could not escape the hero star's eyes. Are you not together with the Purple Thunder Monster? Lin Chong. Cold light rushed out of the snow. Lin Yingmei straddled the snow-walking frost-eye beast, shooting over like an ice-cold lightning bolt. The snow-walking frost-eye beast's wings of light flapped, striking with ice light. The heavenly hero red Ruan bird screeched, spitting out a fierce flame. Hua Wanyue continuously pulled her bow, air-splitting noises sounding out in a row. The first arrow, the second arrow, the third arrow, and gradually an unending stream stopped Lin Yingmei's counterattack, a swathe of burning flame. The snow-walking frost-eye beast howled like a heavenly wolf, suddenly transforming into a frost shadow that took its mistress together and disappeared under Hua Wanyue's attack. The hero star's divine intent completely opened, and a chilly sound broke out within the flames. Could it be, Hua Wanyue, that you have forgotten young master's graciousness? What? Hua Wanyue suddenly turned her head back. The Arctic star serpent spear already swung down. Bang! The red jade star splitting short spear blocked. The spear's power made Hua Wanyue's hand go numb. Lin Yingmei shouted, and Hua Wanyue and the red Ruan bird were shaken back 100 meters. What did you say? Hua Wanyue coldly stared at Lin Yingmei. Why do you know my true name? Of course it is because young master mentioned it to your servant. Lin Yingmei did not pursue an attack, even not showing much fighting intent. Hua Wanyue was taken aback. Those in the world that knew her true name could be counted, and among the star masters, the only one was the man that helped her capture the heavenly hero Red One inside Evil Smiting Hall. That was the Purple Thunder Monster. Hua Wanyue was astonished. Lin Yingmei stowed her spear. The famous and renowned majestic star disdained to use a glib tongue as her method. With her fighting intent vanishing simultaneously, Hua Wanyue gazed at Lin Yingmei pensively. So it was him. No wonder elder sister would sign a contract with him. Never expected him to surprisingly be able to contract a pair of stars. My young master holds you in extremely high regard. Your servant does not wish at all to go against young master's wishes and star duel against you, Hua Wanyue. If you insist, your servant can only accompany you to the end. Lin Yingmei's tone was indifferent, yet it had a courage incapable of rejection. Hua Wanyue stared for a long time, and then the bow and spear simultaneously disappeared. I will not be one who forgets favors. Elder sister's true name. Yingmei. Lin Yingmei, you must have come to Jade Dragon Mountain Range in search of materials to upgrade to a 4-star destined weapon. Lin Yingmei did not say anything. I just happen to have a few pieces of flowing snow luster dream stones. I wonder if you have use for them, Lin Yingmei. Hua Wanyue's palm opened, and 5 watercolored gems the size of chicken eggs flew out. Lin Yingmei's brows rose. To upgrade to a level 4-star weapon, she required 24 pieces of supreme-grade ice-type spirit stones and 160 liang of ice-type spirit sand. Hua Wanyue's pieces of flowing ice luster dream stones were just perfect. In the past few days, Lin Yingmei had collected 10 pieces on her own. Hero Star Wanyue smiled, since that man is your young master, I shall present these stones to you as repayment, Lin Yingmei. However, I wonder whether or now elder sister would like to go do some things that are more interesting. What things? Lin Yingmei asked. I know of a ruin, it possesses a double star forbidance. It cannot be opened by me alone. Hua Wanyue said. Double star forbid dance? Lin Yingmei muttered to herself. Ruins that possessed a star crest forbid dance often required a star general to open. The interior often had many things that could increase strength in the star duels. How about it? Since I had the fate to encounter elder sister, come along with me. These flowing snow luster dream sonas will be gifted to elder sister. Hua Wanyue's delicate fingers danced, and the 5 stones flew over. Lin Yingmei grasped them, a luster glinting in her eyes. She self-confidently smiled, your servant naturally will accompany you. Ruan Mei'er's face was calm as she returned to the water fort, as if nothing had occurred. As for the 2 matters of the white stripe in the wave's refusal and being stopped by Hu Sanyang, she downplayed what happened. Hu Sanyang. Not long before did she hear about information on Hu Sanyang from Ruan Ping, or did Ruan Jiner, though she had misheard. Why would you run into Hu Sanyang? Mei'er, did you see clearly? The golden wind and morning dew double sabers, Mei'er is very certain that his bright star Hu Sanyang. Ruan Mei'er took out a children's picture book and began reading. 7th sister, you threw, too, did you not? That was on the ocean, how could you not defeat Hu Sanyang? Ruan Ping cruelly smiled. Completely insignificant. Ruan Mei'er's reply was considerably blunt. Mei'er is correct. It seems Hu Sanyang's star master, the man named Su Xing, has formed a relationship with Zhang Shun. If they had actually battled, it would be very unfavorable for Mei'er. Ruan Jiner was pensive. We Ruan sisters truly are too humiliated. 2 of us have been repelled by Hu Sanyang. Ruan Ping licked her lips, not even a bit with the dejection of defeat. On the contrary, the evil in her expression was even more brilliant. Ruan Mei'er expressionlessly looked at her book. Victory was fine, defeat was fine, she was not concerned with either. Right, big sister, I recall that man has the birth treasure outline. Ruan Ping suddenly recalled this matter. Ruan Jiner and Ruan Mei'er both showed expressions of shock. What? The birth treasure outline? The second phase's birth treasure outline? Ruan Jiner asked. Of course, he even used it on me. Remembering this, Ruan Ping was in a bad mood. Ruan Jiner inquisitively looked to Ruan Mei'er. The latter shook her head, indicated that Su Xing did not use it on her. The birth treasure outline, Ruan Jiner mumbled to herself. The birth treasure outline not only could be used to reveal the identities and status of all star generals, in the final star duels, it could wield unimaginable usefulness. In the past star duels, the majority of the victors possessed this treasure. The Black Turtle Territory's birth treasure outline had been taken by the Devil Star Palace's great saint. Ruan Jiner always had been brooding over this. Since he can be in possession of the birth treasure outline, this indicates he is a very formidable character. Ruan Jiner muttered. What I said was right, his cultivation has even reached supercluster stage. Ruan Ping said. The Azure Dragon territories was taken by the Purple Thunder monster who contracted Lin Chong, and the whereabouts of the Vermilion Bird territories and White Tiger territories are unknown, Ruan thought. Discovering the identity of their target honestly was somewhat mysterious. However, it was most likely he was without the support of a sect. Otherwise, it was impossible to not have a star general at his side when he was in possession of the birth treasure outline. Will elder sister go greet Zhang Shun? White Stripe in the Waves needs to be taught a lesson before she listens. Ruan evilly said. But he clearly has another goal seeking out Zhang Shun. Perhaps this is the purpose for which he has come to the Black Turtle territory. Ruan Mei'er leisurely said. Then let us Ruan three sisters go meet him. I actually want to know how magnificent the invitation of US3 can be. Would White Stripe in the Waves still decline then? Ruan indifferently said. Fine, we can take the birth treasure outline at the same time. A man that has signed a contract is not a good man. Ruan smiled. Ruan Mei'er flipped through her book without saying anything. Facing the sea with the spring flowers blossoming. 3. The place Zhang Shun lived at could be described with these 8 words. An unusual bamboo building was constructed on a mountain. The surroundings were an emerald green bamboo forest, and far off was the azure ocean. As far as ordinary people were concerned, this undoubtedly was an exceptionally good villa, but to star cultivators and even star generals, this was not up to standard. There isn't even a bit of spiritual influence, and you live in this place? Su Xing was perplexed. Spiritual influence could enrich cultivators, and places that were full of spiritual influence offered dwellings that practically all cultivators were in consensus. Yuchi does not cultivate and does not have a star master. What would I want with those dwellings with spiritual influence? Zhang Yuchi giggled. She spread open her arms and said, isn't it awfully wonderful to be surrounded by this serenity? Su Xing could not easily meddle with the interests of others. He changed the topic, then let's go now and not delay any further. Is young Su honestly so impatient die with Yuchi together for love? Zhang Yuchi smiled. Her hand pointed, and 2 cups of green tea flew before Su Xing and Hunyangzi. This is called 4 Seasons Spring, a spirit tea that can bolster spiritual power. N. What do you mean die together for love? Do you feel we will die? Su Xing wrinkled his brow, using the 4 Seasons Spring to moisten his throat. To go naturally needs to wait until you completely recover. Yuchi certainly does not want to bring along helpless children. 5. Zhang Yuchi mockingly said. Su Xing had no words to say. He was indeed very exhausted after coming out of the deep sea, and he required rest to recuperate. And we still need to discuss something. Zhang Yuchi sat on a bamboo chair, slowly speaking. So long as it doesn't go against my conscience, I'll oblige you. Su Xing said instantly. Then what if I want to see you eat out your wife? Does that count as being within your conscience? Su Xing, Hunyangzi. Su Xing subconsciously glanced at Hunyangzi. The girl glared at him, then turned her head away. I can do it on you. Su Xing said seriously. Relax, something as good as this wouldn't convenience you. Zhang Yuchi no longer joked around. I want you to help me obtain 1 Dragon Snake Great Good Fortune Pill. 6. Dragon Snake Great Good Fortune Pill. Su Xing wrinkled his brow. He had heard of the Dragon Snake Good Fortune Pill, which was capable of increasing cultivation and star energy, but the Great Good Fortune Pill. Don't tell me it's a pill that substantially increases cultivation. No mistake. This thing seems to be extinct. Su Xing's brow was creased even deeper. It was categorized as a legend like the 1,000-year tears of Empress Hua. Extinct is only because there aren't star duels. Recently, it has re-emerged. Zhang Yuchi indifferently tasted her tea, the corner of her mouth wearing a thoughtful grin. What? Is what you're saying true? Su Xing was astonished. Have you heard of the Black Turtle Temple? Zhang Yuchi asked. Su Xing said, one of Liangshan continent's 7 great ancient tombs. Could it that the rumor the Black Turtle territory will open the Black Turtle Temple is true? Hun Yangzi blurted out in astonishment. Yeah, at that time, all of the Black Turtle territory's Star Masters will go. The strife will be considerably intense, and the Dragon Snake Great Good Fortune Pill is inside the Black Turtle Temple. This is also an opportunity for all star generals that have not signed contracts to be able to increase their power. Zhang Yuqi pensively smiled. Her deep eyes gazed at Su Xing, as if saying, will you shrink back? The Dragon Snake Great Good Fortune Pill is so precious, Zhang Shun, your request is rather too harsh. Hun Yangzi said, displeased. Su Xing also said, since so many people are fighting over it, it's a bit demanding. The Black Turtle Temple has the Dragon Snake Fortune Pill, Dragon Snake Good Fortune Pill and the Dragon Snake Great Good Fortune Pill. If this won't do, 5 of the Good Fortune Pills can also work. Zhang Yuqi beamed. The Dragon Snake Good Fortune Pill was rare, and the Black Turtle territory was restless. As an outsider, Su Xing honestly did not have a chance. My dear young Su, Genwu Divine Iron is only present in greatest depths of the Black Turtle Sea that not even supervoid cultivators dare easily dive into. Even Yuqi is facing a very big risk going there for young Su. Do you still need to think about such a tiny request? Zhang Yuqi smiled. Originally, the 3 Ruan sisters had invited Yuqi to go with them. Since young Su has come, Yuqi has no need to rely on them. Then I'll oblige you. Su Xing nodded, making his decision. On one hand, Su Xing was in urgent need of Genwu Divine Iron to forge his Earth Element flying sword. Secondly, what White Stripe in the Waves said was very true. Genwu Divine Iron was even more dangerous than the Black Turtle Temple. Finally, Su Xing also thought of going on a trip to the Black Turtle Temple. The Azure Dragon Territory's Palace of Empress Hua was somewhat regrettable, but the Black Turtle Temple sounded to be more or less like Empress Hua's palace, so Su Xing wanted to try his hand. Riches and honor were to be sought in danger. This logic was still worth a fight. Hun Yangzi did not object after listening. Zhang Yuqi's expression was saying she knew that he would agree. She smiled and rose, then rest well tonight for now, young Su. Tomorrow, prepare to head out. Hearing that the White Stripe in the Waves would go obtain the Genwu Divine Iron tomorrow, Su Xing smiled and asked, do you believe in me so much? Whether it's to a star cultivator or a star general, something like the Dragon Snake Good Fortune Pill is priceless. You aren't the least bit worried that I'll keep it for myself when the time comes? There are 3 reasons. Zhang Yuqi extended 3 white fingers. First reason, if you can obtain the Dragon Snake Great Good Fortune, then inevitably, you will become a target for all of the Black Turtle territory. At that time, will young Su still feel we will have the time to go obtain the Genwu Divine Iron? Su Xing nodded. Zhang Yuqi's considerations were considerably detailed, having thought farther than he had himself. Second reason, Yuqi is very idle right now. It just so happens that the Black Turtle territory can test our rapport. If we can't get past the Black Turtle territory, then we naturally needn't mention the Black Turtle Temple. Zhang Yuqi smiled. Su Xing sighed. He had no choice but to admit that the young girl whose skin surpasses snow was extremely bright. These 2 reasons were meticulously thought out from all aspects. And what's the third reason? Su Xing was even more curious. The third reason, Zhang Yuqi sweetly smiled, winking half-truthfully, Yuqi perhaps is very expectant of young Su's betrayal after we obtain the Dragon Snake Good Fortune. The white water mirror heart serenely shined, suddenly brightening then suddenly dimming, as if the mood of the girl's heart was shaking. So it was like this. Su Xing deeply stared at Zhang Yuqi, muttering to himself. The night was cool as water, the moon bright as light. As usual, after he finished training his Akala Wisdom King Vajra body technique, Su Xing rose and walked through a corridor. In the quiet bamboo forest, the moonlight gently sprinkled down to the earth. The nearby mountain and the faraway sea seemed to be draped in cloth. Although this place did not have spiritual influence, this environment was enough to stir a person's sentiments. The Hun Yangzi cultivating in meditation within the room opened her eyes and looked at Su Xing's back. It was wide and a bit unbelievable. He was a star master, yet he could make a deal with a star maiden and even hope to obtain Zhang Yuqi's betrayal. Bright Star Hu Sanyang felt that her understanding of the star duels was now somewhat unfamiliar. Dear husband, do you truly plan on helping the damaged star take the dragon snake great good fortune pill? Hun Yangzi calmed her mind and stepped forward. If dear husband ingests the dragon snake great good fortune pill, you definitely can surpass great Saint Starkiller. At that time, we can achieve Nyangzi's revenge. Hu Sanyang's tone had a faint trace of hatred. Does wife truly feel that I ought to keep it for myself? Su Xing curiously asked. Yes. Hun Yangzi replied without any hesitation. Bright Star reminded this man in front of her to not be too optimistic in each and every case. Although Zhang Yuqi does not have a contract for the star duels, in the future, she will still become an opponent. Even if we do not battle her, there are still others. If Zhang Yuqi were to starfall, this dragon snake great good fortune pill thing will be a waste. But if she lives to the final moment, at that time, Hun Yangzi did not speak her following sentence, her sharp eyes staring at Su Xing, hoping he would understand. How could Su Xing not understand? At that time, we will still become enemies. Correct? Hun Yangzi nodded, so speaking from any aspect, giving the dragon snake great good fortune pill was harming himself. Then I want to ask you, wife, then why would Zhang Yuqi want to help me go obtain the Gen Wu Divine Iron? Su Xing asked back. Hun Yangzi was taken aback. Suddenly, her expression changed. Could it be she is deliberately confusing dear husband, waiting until we are in the deep sea to seize her chance to face dear husband? I have the purple star jade pendant. She can't kill me. Su Xing smiled. Could it be, wife, that you want to see me go back on my word? She is an enemy, what harm is there in betrayal? Even brave star Guanxing treads the path of the devil sects. Hun Yangzi resolutely said. These words were actually not wrong, however, Su Xing noticed that the both of them had already sunk into misconceptions. Su Xing was treating Zhang Yuqi as a friend, and Hu Sanyang saw the white stripe in the waves as an enemy. The former felt that treachery was disgraceful while the latter naturally felt this was inevitable and right. Of course, he could not blame Hu Sanyang for thinking this way. Ever since Wang Ying had been refined into Guanxing's star weapon using some dark method, Bright Star 10 feet of blue already was deeply aware of the cruelty and ruthlessness of the star duels. Mercy, kindness, loyalty, they had all long been swept into the garbage bin of history. Do you want to see your dear husband be a betrayer? Su Xing was serious. Hun Yangzi did not expect that Su Xing would ask like this. Hesitating a moment, her heart was full of complex feelings. She naturally knew the meaning of Su Xing's question. Who would not hope for their husband to be one who could support heaven and earth, to be a brilliant and honest hero? But upon recalling that Zhang Yuqi was, in the end, an outside, Hun Yangzi instantly put up her guard. Without the dragon snake great good fortune pill in our possession, talking about this is somewhat laughable. Wouldn't it be better for us to personally go ask the opinion of the person in question? Su Xing smiled. Su Xing looked to the sea. On top of a cliff, Zhang Yuqi bathed in the moonlight, her hands forming seals. Her golden hair flowed, and the star crest on her forehead lit up the night sky. Then, she jumped, drawing a beautiful arc as she leapt into the sea. Su Xing smiled, and his figure flashed away. Hun Yangzi followed closely behind. The dreamy moonlight appeared to reflect off the ocean's surface. The seawater gently rippled, and a white python played leisurely. A close to naked young girl floated on her back on the surface of the sea, supported by the gentle waves. The young girl's skin was extremely white. Even in such a deeply dark world, a pinprick of moonlight could make her become this world's most dazzling and most pure existence. Su Xing quietly landed on the seaside cliff, raising his eyebrows. White stripe in the waves. Zhang Yuqi honestly was bold, wearing a bikini that practically could only cover 3 points on her body. Her curves that were like flowing water seemed to have been carved by heaven itself, sexy to the extreme. What a moonlight beauty. If any other man spotted you, they definitely would unleash their beastly instincts. Su Xing smiled. Hun Yangzi came behind him to spot Zhang Yuqi's practically naked body and raised her eyebrows. Could it that you aren't a man? Zhang Yuqi chuckled, not caring about Su Xing's ogling in the slightest. Could you not tantalize me in front of my wifey? Su Xing was speechless. He finally encountered someone who could speak better than him. Elder sister truly does not conduct herself with enough dignity. Hun Yangzi sneered. Your dear husband has already seen Yuqi's everything, there's no need for Yuqi to hide anything. It's unnecessary. Zhang Yuqi's words made Su Xing's heart praise her greatly. She really was a woman any man would yearn for day and night. What? Did Yuqi's words reach the depths of young Su's heart? Zhang Yuqi propped up her body, her snow-white breasts undulating with ripples more dazzling than the oceans. Su Xing fake coughed, in solemn and tacit agreement. Hun Yangzi was very speechless. Her own dear husband also did not hide anything in the slightest. Do you want to bathe together? This moonlight sea has the slightest bit of that legendary moonglow that can speed up recovery. Especially little sister Hu Sanyang, you previously wasted a lot, right? Yuqi certainly does not want to see little sister turn into a leftover woman tomorrow. Zhang Yuqi smiled. Is there really moonglow? Su Xing said in astonishment. Moonglow was also known as the quintessence of moonlight, and it was acclaimed as Liangshan continent's purest essence spirit qi. Just a bit could greatly advance cultivation. Wife, let's go down. Su Xing stirred restlessly. Not going. Hu Sanyang twitched her lips. She was not at the realm where she could share a bathe with a man. Even if that man was her own dear husband, she would not. Wife, now is not the time to be shy. Tomorrow is very important. Su Xing feigned inflexibility and pounced on her. Su Xing, stop it. How dare you, I will castrate you. Don't, there were many twists from shock to fury, then to bashful cries. Hun Yangzi's eyes nevertheless wanted to kill someone, spouting fire. One hand covered her chest, but in actuality, Su Xing had not taken off anything. He merely removed several of Hun Yangzi's accessories. The girl's rhomboid bodice and the short skirt were inherently already very bold. Su Xing only left on his shorts as he hopped into the sea. Just as Zhang Yuqi said, the seawater held a trace of the rare moonglow. Immersing himself in the seawater, his heart and soul was soothed. You already call yourselves dear husband and wife, how are you still so shy? It certainly doesn't do for little sister to be like this, you have to know that Su Xing definitely will make you go do a blowjob. Zhang Yuqi lay on the sea, teasing her. Hu Sanyang's ears burned, and her skin turned a shade of red. She ruthlessly eyed Su Xing, I really want to make you give me a blowjob right now. Su Xing looked at the beautiful, slender, white jade thighs that were practically under his eyes. Zhang Yuqi's slender figure was wholly laid out. Her jade skin's modest appearance indeed was very capable of arousing a man's wicked thoughts. Zhang Yuqi was smug. Yuqi isn't married yet, won't you cover up? Yuqi, you already fully trust me. Too, Su Xing laughed aloud. Die. Zhang Yuqi's face reddened, and she shot an arrow of water. Hun Yangzi watched Su Xing and Zhang Yuqi flirt, and her eyebrows deeply wrinkled. She saw that Su Xing's gaze did not cast a glance her way, and then looking at the moonlight, she grit her teeth and entered the ocean. Then, she immediately used her star energy to sense the weak moonglow to harmonize with the spiritual power in her body. She was pleasantly surprised to discover that the spirit qi in her body somewhat changed, as expected. Immediately, she concentrated herself wholly on this. As for this brazenly, cheating couple, between their flirtatious bantering, she treated them as fleeting clouds. A long time afterwards, suddenly, a fiery voice blew beside her ear. Wife, wake up. Hun Yangzi opened her eyes. Su Xing and a splendid smile were just in front of her eyes. Hun Yangzi was surprised. Suddenly noticing that Su Xing's eyes were glued downwards, she lowered her head to look. Her bodice had been soaked in seawater and long already flipped open, revealing the erotic sight of a great expanse of whiteness, and even her little buds were visible. Ah! Hun Yangzi's hand covered her chest, slapping with her palm. Su Xing dodged. Zhang Yuqi evilly cast star magic. The water's waves attacked, pushing Su Xing onto Hu Sanyang's body. The pair were in a very intimate position, the fragrance of the young girl's body entering his pores. Hun Yangzi groaned. It looks like it will take a very long time before I can see this blowjob. A jeering chuckle came from the side. On some remote island in the Black Turtle territory, Qingxi unfurled a banner, releasing endless starlight. The women accompanying her looked nervously at this starlight, and Jin Xiongyu was particularly restless. Elder sister Qingxi, is Mingyue actually all right? Cold sweat dotted her forehead as Qingxi silently read an incantation. The banner flapped, and suddenly, in the center of green light emerged a petite figure. Qin Mingyue. Qingxi shouted. Qin Mingyue was muddle-headed, as if she had been immersed within a very sweet dream. She rubbed her eyes that still were not too awake, and in her line of sight appeared an indistinct figure. Sister Qingxi. Her consciousness suddenly sobered. Qin Mingyue was shocked. Elder sister Qingxi. The little loli looked in disbelief at her intact body. Mingyue, is not dead? Fortunately, just when you were starfalling, elder sister Qingxi used this treasure to fix your star, Wang Jingji explained. Qin Mingyue looked in disbelief at that multicolored treasure banner. Is this banner so incredible? This heavenly star birth banner, too, can only save you once. Next time, you will not be so fortunate. The Qingxi who had consumed extreme amounts of energy to call forth Qin Mingyue panted. Guoshui stepped forward and tenderly wiped away Qingxi's sweat. Qingxi smiled at her. It is all because of that Lin Chong. Jin Xiongyu gnashed her teeth said without any reservation, Elder sister Mingyue, your servant shall use all her strength to help upgrade elder sister's star weapon to 5-star. At that time, you definitely will sweep aside the panther head and take revenge. Qin Mingyue pouted and nodded. Qingxi wrinkled her brow. For the time being, we must not come into conflict with Lin Chong and them. Why, elder sister? That man surprisingly can contract multiple sisters just like elder sister. To think that a man can prevail, Jin Xiongyu's heart is very uncomfortable. The jade-armed craftsman Jin Xiongyu was full of resentment. Wang Jingji was very perplexed as to why Jin Xiongyu would hate Su Xing so much. Even Lu Fang felt baffled. She had been the one defeated by Su Xing, so it was sensible for her to have something to say. Could it be that Jin Xiongyu and he had a previous encounter? Your servant and he address each other as siblings, and your servant recognizes him as big brother. This is not at all to make us move first. Qingxi wrinkled her brow, her voice tender with a hint of sternness. What plan does elder sister have? All of the girls were curious. Qingxi asked back, Lin Chong and Wu Song, why would these sisters who have not signed contracts in 1,000 years follow Su Xing? This question honestly stumped them. Was it courage? Was it strength? Anyway they thought, it was not too possible. It could not be that a star master top quality in courage and strength would appear in the 9th generation star duels. They were not too convinced, perhaps there was an encounter between them that we cannot think of. Wang Jingji said. When she remembered the opening of the birth outline, Su Xing only had 4 beauties by his side at that time. No matter what encounter they had, there is definitely this one reason, Su Xing's personality. Qingxi said. Qingxi and Su Xing got to know each other inside the Buddha Kingdom's 7th-floor stupa pagoda. She personally witnessed every detail of how the solitary star Lu Shacking of the meditative mind signed her contract. At that particular interaction, even Qingxi was somewhat moved. She could not help but concede that Su Xing as a person was very strange. this type of strangeness had manifested within a sort of incongruous temperament. No mistake, it was indeed incongruous. He was unlike those star masters, unlike those star cultivators, even unlike a person from all of Liangshan continent. It was as if he had come from Star World. Qingxi was confident it was precisely this kind of mysterious temperament had the greatest destructive power. If you interacted with him more, the more you would curiously probe to the bottom of this matter. By doing so, they would always degenerate so long as that man kept himself above a certain level. But what does that have to do with elder sister saluting him as big brother? Your servant is merely doing so to shackle Lord Su. Qingxi softly laughed. Seeing that the little sisters were at an even greater loss, she explained. Top-notch heavenly stars the likes of Lin Chong and Wu Song had degenerated into Su Xing's claws and teeth. In Qingxi's perspective, a great degree was due to drawing them too deeply in. By Lin Chong and Wu Song's personalities, Su Xing's personality was considerably warm. However, to only be warm was to be a gigolo. Means of strength were actually the most important. Qingxi called Su Xing as Lord actually in order to pull their relations closer. By doing so, at the final phase, if Su Xing was to obtain the star duels and ascend Maiden Mountain, they would inevitably be enemies. If he renounced their sibling relationship and took action, this sort of betrayal would shake Lin Chong, Wu Song, and the others who were devoted to righteousness. So long as they were shaken, their faith would break. At that time, Su Xing's seemingly enormous alliance would then collapse. However, what made Qingxi perplexed was that she was confident that with Su Xing's eyesight, he ought to have considered this point, but to be without any opposition and grow even more close was somewhat confusing. Elder sister's considerations are honestly long-term. They were astonished, not expecting that Qingxi had thought to even the final phase. But this is only a possibility. What if Su Xing does not act? Your servant does not believe he will be unmoved, even if he is confronted with Maiden Mountain's revenge. Qingxi calmly said. Wang Jingji and the others sighed. But, if you were to act and Wu Song and Lin Chong are not shaken by that man's betrayal of justice? Lu Fang asked. Perhaps they truly love that man enough to hover between life and death. Qingxi smiled. Your servant does not believe something as unreasonable as this will occur. And, that is logical. Right now, we must separate. Qingxi then said, your servant will go gather the other sisters that have not signed a contract for uprising. Qiongyu, you are in charge of refining star weapons. This is our sole advantage. Qiongyu will not make elder sister disappointed. Jin Qiongyu gravely said. The other sisters will be in charge of gathering materials and searching for sisters that have not signed contracts. Qingxi said. All right. Where is elder sister going? Black Turtle Sea. Next day. Su Xing and Zhang Yuqi jumped down from the Black Turtle Sea's most dangerous depths. White Stripe in the waves was like a mermaid, nimbly swimming in the water. Su Xing's escape technique could not catch up to her speed. Seeing her agile body, Su Xing was envious. This was Maiden Mountain's water general. They were not the same as martial force or magic energy star generals. Water generals were extremely good at marine combat, capable of navigating all waterways, turning everything on its head. The pressure of the deep sea was completely useless against a water general. In the star duels, if a first-rate martial general were to star duel a water general on the ocean surface, if they were even only slightly careless, they could be buried at sea, with no hope of reprieve. However, water generals were not necessarily truly matchless. In actuality, if a star general were to reach a certain realm or if a star weapon were to reach a certain level, splitting the sea would be merely an appetizer. Even if a water general's world-overturning star magic were any stronger, it would be useless. 800,000 Li Su Xing already reached the ocean depths. How do we search? Su Xing used sound transmission. Zhang Yuqi looked up and down the pitch-dark water. Her divine intent unfurled without limit. Suddenly, Su Xing patted her white shoulder. Zhang Yuqi turned her head to look. Limitless nether fish already were barreling their way. White stripe in the waves smiled, and the white water mirror heart emitted a beam of light. Ripples in the water like sound waves directly knocked this school of insufferably arrogant nether fish into disarray. Let's go. Zhang Shun's index finger poked Su Xing. She directly kicked her legs and swam away. Su Xing followed closely behind. Along the way, they encountered many demon beasts. The honestly very dangerous ones, they avoided. Stopping and going like this, Su Xing arrived at a deep-sea mound. He was astonished to discover that the middle of this mountain had a marine trench. Zhang Yuqi indicated, and then she swam in. The pressure of 800,000 li was already making Su Xing somewhat dizzy. Seeing this even deeper dark passage, he cursed. Fuck me, is this Liangshan continent actually Jupiter? 3. Aiya, as he swam in. Past 1 million li, a stifled feeling was crammed into Su Xing's lungs. In actuality, star cultivators did not need air to breathe, but to support this capability, they needed star energy. This million-li deep seafloor seriously was universally shocking. His star energy was completely flattened. Now, Su Xing already was somewhat unable to persist. No wonder that even though people were fully aware that the Black Turtle Sea had Gen Wu divine iron, there were no supervoid cultivators. It seemed this was the reason. His consciousness rapidly ebbed. The darkness pouncing from all sides made Su Xing's line of sight completely fuzzy. At this time, his divine intent also severed. This is bad. Su Xing hastily circulated his powers. Suddenly, at this moment, a dazzling white light flashed in the darkness. A pair of plump and moist jade lips directly passed through the darkness and stuck to his mouth. Then, Su Xing only felt his body suddenly brim with strength. That sort of pressure unbelievably abetted instantly. Su Xing opened his eyes wide and looked. Zhang Yuqi's face wore a grin, her delicate hands covering her lips. Clearly, she had just used her lip contact to extend the power of a water general to him. Su Xing nodded at her, inwardly thanking her. Zhang Yuqi smiled. She grabbed Su Xing's hand, nimbly turned around, and like a mermaid, escaped into the water below. A long while after, Su Xing only felt his eyes dazzle. Having been in Liangshan continent for so long, this was still the first time Su Xing had been guided by a woman voluntarily. The black world of the ocean depths suddenly filled with silvery light. As if there was a bright moon in the water. Su Xing narrowed his eyes and stared. This bright moon scattered in large amounts. Gen Wu divine iron. Connecting heaven ancient tomb. Wu Xinjia and Shi Yuan passed through the densely packed troop and horse figurines, palaces and pavilions. Finally, they found the main hall. A vast gate was before them. On both sides stood towering and imposing military general statues. So it turned out this place is the tomb of the connecting heaven Lord Emperor. Wu Xinjia smiled. Shi Yuan showed an impressed expression. Elder sister, is there some profound theory to this gate? Wu Xinjia looked and nodded, indeed there is a theory. This gate can only admit 2 people at a time. It has been designed honestly thoroughly. Then the 2 of us are just perfect. Shi Yuan giggled. Wu Xinjia stepped forward to open the gate. It can only admit 2 people. Then it appears you can only stop here. An ice-cold voice sounded out. In this quiet world, it seemed especially ear-piercing. Wu Xinjia and Shi Yuan were shocked. 2 girls gracefully landed on the hall's plaza, wearing smiles. The premise of this opinion is that you do not willingly starfall. The ice-blue long-haired girl's hand beckoned. In the blink of an eye, her hair that nearly reached her but fluttered, and countless icy flying swords emerged from thin air. These flying swords were numerous, vaguely innumerable. They let out a terrifying chill, as if they were about to freeze the palace. 33 dark sky star frost swords. Wu Xinjie was astonished. It was unexpectedly an immemorial sword chant. Feixue, 5, recommends that elder sister and little sister had best listen. Han Bing's 6. Opinion has always been very important. The long golden ponytailed girl showed a toothy grin, revealing spotlessly white teeth. The ice-cold long-haired girl was extremely beautiful, her hair falling down like snowflakes, carrying a bone-chilling cold. Wu Xinjie sensed a powerful pressure. Supercluster Stage Cultivation Star Master. Yuan, attack the gate. Wu Xinjie suddenly shouted. The two of them turned around. Come and face defeat. Han Bing spat out these 4 words. The 33 dark sky star frost swords fell. Suddenly, Wu Xinjie and Shi Yuan's figures tumbled. The star frost flying swords directly slashed apart the gate. Just at this moment, the 2 statues seemed to come to life, ferocious as if they had been provoked. They swung their halberds and polearms, blocking Han Bing and Feixue. You followed us for so long, just treat this as a bit of payback. Shi Yuan giggled, instantly flashing with Wu Xinjie into the hall. The 2 general statues did not delay. They attacked Feixue and Han Bing. So it turned out to be this is the mechanism. Feixue clicked her tongue. Han Bing, we were duped. Han Bing was expressionless. The 33 dark sky star frost swords immediately covered the space, fully loaded with an icy aura of death. Seeing a bright, moonlike dazzling light in the deep blackness, Su Xing restrained his excitement. Idiot, that's Moonlight Treasure Stone. Zhang Yuqi giggled, making him recognize reality. Moonlight Stone. 2. Su Xing's amazement was no more rare than Zhen Wu Divine Iron. Moonlight stones similarly were a kind of priceless jade ore. They emerged from the accumulation over 1,000 years of the quintessence of moonlight. When used for tool refinement and pole refinement, it was a superb material. Legend said that Moonglow Treasure Stone could only appear in the Bright Moon Longevity Palace. Who would have thought the Black Turtle Sea's depths would also have some? There was enough to spare if he used it as a substitute for Zhen Wu Divine Iron. Su Xing swam over. Just as Zhang Yuqi and Su Xing were about to grab the Moonlight Stone, suddenly, that Moonlight Stone was hoisted up, and then a giant mouth suddenly opened to swallow Su Xing and Zhang Yuqi. The 2 of them completely did not expect these beautiful Moonlight Stones were surprisingly a disguise that a demon beast would use to attract prey. In the blink of an eye, they were about to enter the fish's stomach. Look out! Su Xing inwardly cursed that this demon beast was very cunning. He immediately grabbed onto Zhang Yuqi so as to avoid her sliding into the fish's gullet. Otherwise, she would become history's most tragic star maiden buried inside a fish's stomach. Zhang Yuqi's middle finger flashed. The 4-star white water mirror heart circled around her fingertips. The seawater in the fish's swim bladder immediately frothed like boiling water. 3. When Su Xing saw this, he attacked with Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder. Receiving such a provocation, the demon beast violently vomited, spitting the 2 back out. Are you okay? Su Xing asked, concerned. Careful, there's a lot of demon beasts in this place. Zhang Yuqi retracted her normal playful demeanor, sternly warning him. To be able to make the white stripe in the waves say this, Su Xing did not dare be careless. When he looked again at those glittering moonlight stones, he only felt they were full of malice. Su Xing and Zhang Yuqi began to search along the seafloor for Zhen Wu Divine Iron. Zhang Yuqi used the power of the white water mirror heart so easily in the water like a fish back in its pond. Su Xing only knew that making this deal with Zhang Yuqi really was too profitable. With the white stripe in the waves' abilities, they completely did not encounter many big obstructions. Not too long after, Zhang Yuqi found the objective they wanted. Su Xing swam over, and a seaweed-type monster swam by. Zhang Yuqi used her hand to brush and sweep over the stone and silt on the seafloor. In this deep black, a stone that Su Xing would have practically ignored appeared before him. Zhen Wu Divine Stone. Su Xing immediately discerned this stone's origins, and his heart was ecstatic. The Zhen Wu Divine Iron was extracted from Zhen Wu Divine Stone. Zhen Wu Divine Iron's signature characteristic was its extreme blackness. Due to it being in the deep sea, it was very difficult to find. However, Su Xing did not dare affirm that such a black stone was necessarily Zhen Wu Divine Stone. Su Xing remembered that Zhen Wu Divine Stone had another characteristic, which was its extreme heaviness. A finger-sized stone could have 1,000 caddies of weight. Su Xing tried to lift the rock. Immediately, he felt this stone seemed to be connected to the entire seafloor, as if he was trying to move the sea. Extraordinarily, he was incapable of budging it. Zhang Yuqi was unable to help even if she wanted. She just swam to the side, watching Su Xing. Su Xing naturally knew Zhen Wu Divine Iron's characteristics from Tang Lianxin. He took out a bottle specially prepared beforehand. He poured out a viscous liquid that he smeared on the surroundings of the Zhen Wu Divine Iron. Immediately afterwards, the Zhen Wu Divine Iron surroundings let out large amounts of bubbles. Countless bubbles that were densely packed obscured his line of sight. The seawater seemed to be bubbling from being boiled. By the time the bubbles disappeared, the surroundings of the Zhen Wu Divine Iron already clearly loosened. When Su Xing went to lift it once more, it was still somewhat surprisingly heavy. This Zhen Wu Divine Iron is a legendary divine metal, as expected. Su Xing sucked in a deep breath. He concentrated all of his strength into his hands, seizing the stone and doing everything he could to lift it out. There was a muffled, earthquake-like rumble. Su Xing only felt as if his finger bones were about to snap. Zhen Wu Divine Stone was immovable as before. Fuck me, how is it so hard? Su Xing cursed. He was practically about to burst a lung, but the stone unexpectedly did not move a single inch. If this Zhen Wu Divine Iron was so easy, then it long would have already been picked clean. Zhang Yuqi looked pitifully at Su Xing. Any way it was put, Su Xing currently even had Lu Shaqing's innate skill monster strength and was unyielding. He swallowed several pills, even applying an increased vigor talisman, 5, on himself. His hands tightly clenched, and as if he was plucking a radish, he used all of the strength in his body to pull up this piece of Zhen Wu Divine Iron. 1 minute. 2 minutes. 3 minutes passed. The blood vessels in his arms split apart, attracting many insatiable demon beasts. If it was not for Zhang Yuqi the incredible water general being present, to obtain the Zhen Wu Divine Iron basically was an impossible to complete task. Can't you do it? Zhang Yuqi was increasingly doubtful. Su Xing pulled with all his might. Boom. His arms suddenly loosed, and his body toppled backwards. That piece of Zhen Wu Divine Iron finally was pulled free. Just obtaining this rock is so abnormal, no wonder no one's selling this. Su Xing's whole body hurt, and he grimaced. He looked at the piece of Zhen Wu Divine Stone no larger than the size of a fist that sat in his hand, incessantly speechless. In order to pick the Zhen Wu Divine Iron, he had used up countless pills and effort. This still was even under the condition that he possessed monster strength. If it was anyone else, perhaps the difficulty would be higher by several magnitudes. The Zhen Wu Divine Iron material for the earth element flying sword honestly was abnormal. Thinking that this Zhen Wu Divine Iron could forge an exceptional flying swords, Su Xing was even more excited. Do you want to surface to rest? Zhang Yuqi asked. Su Xing shook his head. During the following time, he again searched along the seafloor. He found several pieces of Zhen Wu Divine Iron, and every time, he used up enormous amounts of strength in order to excavate them. Furthermore, the bulk of these pieces of Zhen Wu Divine Iron that he dug up were not big at all. The largest was fist-sized, but even just this made Su Xing trouble Zhang Yuqi into being unable to help but use her lips to lend Su Xing the power of a water general to help Su Xing recover his strength. Otherwise, Su Xing would not have persevered for this long. Although he was this fortunate, things progressed abnormally smoothly. Under Zhang Yuqi's protection, the work to extract the Zhen Wu Divine Iron was even more relaxed than he had imagined. Before he knew it, Su Xing's hands already had an additional 12 pieces of Zhen Wu Divine Iron. When Su Xing saw that things were more or less finished, he honestly did not have any more energy to continue looking. Seeing that the seafloor still had so much Gen Wu divine iron, Su Xing could only dismiss the idea. Among one of the pieces was a giant piece with a diameter close to 1/2 meter, which made Su Xing feel especially regretful. Such a large piece taken out would certainly raise a reign of terror. However, to think of taking it out, perhaps even a 7-star weapon would not be enough. Seeing Su Xing nod to stop for the day, Zhang Yuqi swam Su Xing towards the surface. Things aren't too right. Zhang Yuqi suddenly said. What's not too right? The Su Xing, who was already weary to the point that his arms and legs were about to snap, did not even have the strength to speak. Right now, he only wanted to go back and get some good rest. According to plot development, gathering divine stones like the Gen Wu divine iron that's even tens of thousands of li down on the seafloor, a very powerful titanic demon beast ought to jump out at this moment. Then we have a bitter battle, and then we finally collect the Gen Wu divine iron. Zhang Yuqi thought this was true. Su Xing completely lacked the strength to reply. This logic was honestly very much in line with common sense. Please, don't be so hackneyed. I definitely can't keep on doing this. Forget encountering a 10th rank demon beast. With Su Xing's current state, even a 5th rank or 6th rank was terrible. Zhang Yuqi happily smiled, pulling Su Xing as she swam up like a mermaid. On the Black Turtle Sea. More than 100 people currently shuttled back and forth over the sea endlessly, continuously using every sort of artifact and magic weapon in a search. Ruan stood on her own star beast, the ancient alligator dragon. She raised her head to look at the 7th sister suspended in the sky. The rank 31st defeat star living king Yama currently stood in the air, absorbed in looking at a children's book. 7th sister, stop reading. To be dispatched in a moment by Hu Sanyang is already unsightly, he. Ruan smiled evilly. Mei'er simply moved the book out of her line of sight. This time will be serious. She expressionlessly replied, and then her gaze returned to the book. Really, big sister, too. Obviously, we just agreed that the 3 Ruan sisters will go snatch the birth treasure outline together. I even wanted to let elder sister see the star master I spotted, to see whether or not she will be satisfied. Ruan said in disappointment. It's all because that woman comes as she pleases. We must not let elder sister Jean be disappointed. Ruan said again. Ruan Mei'er barely grunted. Seeing that the defeat star was more interested in reading her book than chatting with her, Ruan twitched her lips out of boredom. She asked her subordinates, didn't you guys say you saw Zhang Shun jump here? Where is she then? If we continue to not find her, then I'll feed you to Pingxia's nourishment. Third boss, Zhang Shun definitely dove here in the sea. The subordinate hurriedly said. And I hear there was also a man. That's odd. The white stripe in the waves is surprisingly so kind as to help a star master. It seems she is also harboring ulterior motives. Underlings, properly stand watch for me. Ruan shouted. A long while after, Ruan Mei'er already swapped to looking at her 3rd children's picture book, yet the sea still did not move. Ruan was a bit angry. Just at this moment, suddenly, in the sea 1,000 meters away, a giant wave rocketed into the sky. From within the wave jumped out a mermaid, and behind her was a man. Ruan and Ruan Mei'er looked over at the same time. Mei'er, Ruan shouted in pleasant surprise. Ruan Mei'er already was flying over. Underlings, open the still breeze quiet waves great array. 6. Before Su Xing and Zhang Yuqi could even catch their breath after emerging from the deep sea, they spotted a flock of cultivators encircling them like locusts. Hun Yangzi immediately emerged from the star nest. Her hands clenched golden wind and morning dew, her expression grave. He, this time, which way can you run, Su Xing? Ruan laughed evilly. Su Xing smiled at Zhang Yuqi, don't tell me this is the boss that Yuqi mentioned. Zhang Yuqi snorted a laugh. The Ruan sisters are truly good at understanding each other. Ruan Mei'er was confused. Seeing that the two lacked any sense of danger, her fury skyrocketed. White stripe in the waves. Zhang Yuqi, big sister has made me ask you again, will you return to the water fort or not? Don't force people to do things. Zhang Yuqi winked. Su Xing, your birth treasure outline, our big sister wants to borrow it. Will you lend it or not? Ruan Ping'er asked Su Xing, are there any benefits? Su Xing smiled. The benefit, you can keep your life. Ruan Ping'er snorted. A defeated general dares to be impudent. Hun Yangzi sneered, lifting her saber and attacking. Bright star, don't think that you can place no one in your eyes just because you are an earthly star for heavenly king. Ruan Ping'er was infuriated. Underlings, activate the still breeze quiet waves array. The saber light forged ahead. Bang! A Dragon King dagger blocked it. The Dragon King dagger's power was exceptionally fierce, and Hu Sanyang's expression changed. Ruan Mei'er was detached. Her left hand held a book, and her right hand suddenly exerted strength. Chilly murderous intent suddenly leaked out of the Dragon King dagger. Gududu. 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 The 100 cultivators of the 3 Ruan's water fort seized this chance to lay down the still breeze quiet waves array. There was the sound of water, and their hands formed seals. Several crystalline water dragons interwove together. The 10 li in front of Su Xing formed a mysterious array with a range of 3,000 zhang. Stars swirled around in the center of the array, as if it was a sparkling screen of water, containing Su Xing within. It was utterly vast and utterly beautiful. Within this array, Su Xing could not escape even if he wanted to. Last night when he was immersed in the moonlight, Su Xing had already specially asked Zhang Yuqi about the matter with the 3 Ruan's water fort. He knew that the 3 Ruan star maidens were powerful. The Ruan's water fort really did not rise over several years. They were somewhat like Chai Ling, with contracts for the 3 Ruan sisters being extremely rare in the previous star duels. This water fort had always been passed down, and fancy that with the name of the 3 Ruans so great, a call to action would receive a response. However, although their influence was tremendous, these star duels had nothing to do with outsiders, after all. What those 100 cultivators of the 3 Ruan's water fort could do was merely to lay down an array, and that was all. Furthermore, Hun Yangzi's double sabers had been stopped by defeat star Ruan Shaoqi's Dragon King dagger. In Ruan Mei'er's arms, a killing intent leaked out, directly sending Hun Yangzi into retreat. Hu Sanyang fell through the air, her double sabers dancing together. 2 beams of fang-like saber chi were sent forth. Ruan Mei'er suddenly opened her mouth and read an incantation. A Dragon King beast appeared, opening its large mouth and swallowing Hun Yangzi's saber chi. Hun Yangzi sneered, flashing herself in. The double sabers barely penetrated. This time will not be so easy. Ruan Mei'er sat on the Anitya Dragon King beast. 2. The Dragon King dagger in her hand suddenly became a dragon that twined around her arm. It extended without limit, as if it was a whip. The star beast Anitya Dragon King beast simultaneously spat out a water jet. The Dragon King dagger was pulled over, directly cutting open the seawater. Whipping down, the oceans soared into the sky. Hun Yangzi's double sabers barely blocked. A light smoke dance step quickly evaded the Dragon King beast's attack. Hate transmission. The yellow rank saber technique that was hateful to the bone emerged in the blink of an eye. The Dragon King dagger retracted and sprung forth, battling the double sabers. When Su Xing saw this, at the same time he flipped out the birth treasure outline, he also formed hand seals. The 12 heaven tearing transformed into a roaring dragon, the sword shadow instantly flashing towards the Dragon King beast's water jet to help alleviate the burden of Hun Yangzi. Then, his right hand consecutively snapped. Purple Mansion immortal thunder blossomed like lotus flowers that he fired with full power. This counted as the 2 Ruan sisters choosing just the perfect time. He had only just emerged from the Black Turtle Deep Sea after collecting Gen Wu Divine Iron, so Su Xing had expended most of his strength. Otherwise, Su Xing honestly wanted to use the 5 dragons colored glass lantern to directly deal with them. The birth treasure outlines materials manifested. Star position, defeat star, 3, star name, 1 Xiaoqi nickname, living king Yama, 5, true name, Ruan Mei'er, 6, rank, 31st star weapon, Dragon King Whip Dagger, 7, 4 star, star beast, Anitya Dragon King Beast Realm, matchless first stage innate skill, water healing, 8, 5 elements, water yellow rank special move, Dragon King's Thundering Roar, 9, dark rank special move, Azure Dragon Breaking Eastern Wind, 10, current status, no contractor, can be conquered, detailed materials. Matchless realm. Su Xing was stunned. Living King Yama's realm was even higher than he had imagined, far surpassing Hunyangzi's. After Ruan Mei'er rode her star beast, her attacks were incomparably more powerful than before. A 4-star Dragon King dagger whip was impressive, imposing, just like a dragon's shadow winding around the surroundings. Hu Sanyang basically could not draw near. Hu Sanyang flipped backwards. Upon landing, she sat on her own star beast blood sweat silver hair horse. Golden wind and morning dew quickly spread her murderous aura. Hu Sanyang was unwilling to lag behind, spurring on her horse to attack. Living King Yama or Ruan Mei'er gently waved one arm. The Dragon King dagger had no blind spots, its attack pelting her, searching for a gap in Hu Sanyang's defenses. Regardless of star weapon or realm, or even star beast, the defeat star far exceeded the bright star. This was dangerous. Su Xing promptly advanced to assist. The birth treasure outline, handed over. The Ruan Pinger on the other side did not sit and wait. Seeing Su Xing flip open the birth treasure outline, she grinned, and the ancient dragon alligator arrived in an instant. Several water dragons also attacked. Heaven tearing crisscrossed, the golden sword lights gathering to form a giant sword that slashed downwards. Humph. Ruan Pinger's claws waved. Water pillars rose into the sky, shaking apart the flying swords. The ancient dragon alligator then opened its maw to bite down. Su Xing promptly evaded, raising the prehistoric spirit treasure Green Lotus Peak. The mountaintop spun and suddenly became giant. A green mountain smashed towards the ancient dragon alligator. Dragon King break. Ruan Pinger's claws wielded the seawater, forming a sea dragon shape that propped up the Green Lotus Peak. However, it was a prehistoric spirit treasure, after all. Without even a moment, the Dragon King break was squashed to pieces, and at this time, Ruan Pinger already dove beneath the waves with the ancient dragon alligator, thus surprisingly evading the prehistoric spirit treasure like this. Su Xing thought to himself this was regrettable. Flying to an altitude of 100 zhang, the 12 heaven tearing stirred. With a sky-shaking boom, several water dragons rolled upwards. Su Xing leaned to dodge. Surprisingly, the ocean waves rolled. A giant shadow pounced out of the ocean depths in the blink of an eye. The movement was more nimble than a flying bird. Astonishingly, it was that ancient dragon alligator. Ruan Pinger stood on the ancient dragon alligator's back, cruelly smiling. Truly a reckless star master, surprisingly thinking you can best me, the gilt star, in combat. Just as the ancient dragon alligator was about bite Su Xing apart, just as Su Xing was about to activate the chaotic tail escape. Just at this moment, there was a hiss, and a giant white python rushed forth from the side and knocked the ancient dragon alligator aside. At this unforeseen turn of events, Ruan Pinger screamed in surprise. The alligator dragon's sea-swallowing claws promptly flung out several star magics. Su Xing's finger pointed, and heaven-tearing flit across as a golden light that directly slashed down. Although the Ruan Pinger was too late to defend, she used the alligator dragon's sea-swallowing claws to block most of Su Xing's flying swords. There were still two that pierced through her star energy and injured her. Go! Su Xing's fingers extended, and a magic weapon knife shot out at the same time. The ancient dragon alligator used its tail to sweep aside the knife. When Ruan Mei'er saw that Pinger was stalled, the Dragon King whip dagger released countless whip shadows. Just like a roaring dragon, astonishingly, this was a Dragon King's thundering roar outside of star magic. Hun Yangzi's double sabers promptly returned to defend. The girl's body techniques could be rated as incomparably nimble. Golden Wind and Morning Dew formed a saber net that broke this Dragon King's thundering roar. "Wife, look out!" Su Xing shouted. Hun Yangzi was startled. A water sword pierced her chest. The bright star hurt terribly. She waved her double sabers, immediately retreating. Ruan Mei'er did not pursue, but she looked at the injured Ruan Ping'er and wrinkled her eyebrows. She put away her children's picture book. Her palm stuck to Ruan Ping'er's body. Seawater sprinkled down, and her palm emitted white qi. The condition of Ruan Ping'er's injury instantly healed over, intact. He has really infuriated me. When Ruan Ping'er saw that the one who attacked her was surprisingly Zhang Shun's star beast Urgency's white python, she was unable to restrain her anger. "Zhang Shun, will you offend our three Ruan's water fort for the sake of a star master?" "Little sister, this is a bandit's behavior. How can the three Ruan's water fort have become a bandit fortress?" Zhang Yuqi smiled. She stood on the Urgency's white spirit python's head, calm. He. Zhang Shun has unexpectedly spoken up for a star master. Is your brain waterlogged? Ruan Ping'er sinisterly said. Not waterlogged, you made a move right under Yuqi's nose. Yuqi is unable to sit idly and watch. Yuqi has just made a deal with Su Xing, and asks that the three Ruan sisters make things easy, otherwise, by the time the Black Turtle Temple ends, you will have to find a deserted place to settle. Be it a blowjob or a star duel, your choice. Yuqi is fine with either. Zhang Yuqie giggled. Su Xing truly prostrated himself in worship of her, to be able to display those two words with full energy at any time. What's a blowjob? Ruan Ping'er naturally did not understand. She smiled evilly. White stripe in the waves. Zhang Yuqi, we will give you another chance. Quickly escape through the water, otherwise, you will be an enemy of the three Ruan's water fort. To seek a Star Master's cooperation for the Black Turtle Temple, your brain isn't waterlogged, rather, you don't have a brain at all. Ruan Ping'er's words were considerably unforgiving. Yuqi cannot make a loss on a transaction. Zhang Yuqi feigned vexation. Since things are like this, then I will send you off here. Ruan Mei'er was expressionless, her murderous aura magnifying. The Dragon King whip dagger was increasingly malevolent, and the Dragon King beast she sat on turned even more towering. The pair seemed to become one, a deathly stillness hitting everyone in the face. Look out for her, King Yama demands blood. Zhang Yuqi put away her smile, flashing her white water mirror heart. Stupid Zhang Shun, you have made a stupid decision. Ruan Ping'er grinned evilly, spreading her arms. Lightning flashed and thunder rolled in the sky. The seas rolled perilously. The world became dusky and gloomy. The connecting heaven main hall was even more vast than they had imagined. From the gates behind them came the never-ending sounds of combat. The rumbling explosions were increasingly ear-piercing, shaking this still tomb into rocking about. Dark clouds of intense danger enshrouded the place. Yuan. Wu Xinjie called, making sure Yuan first go search for hidden treasures inside the tomb. Sure, Yuan knew intuitively, using wind-chasing shadow hiding to immediately disappear. The sounds of chills and explosions drew increasingly near. Master. Hua Shui was grave. Wu Xinjie grunted. Turning around, she saw that the powerful general reliefs had been shattered. Wu Xinjie could sense the powerful airflow even from very far away. Two figures quickly flew over. The nine-tailed spirit fox Hua Shui possessed her, and Wu Xinjie's hand held her fan, smiling charmingly. Elder sister, doing this is certainly dishonest. The young girl rubbed her temples. Seeing Wu Xinjie was unaccompanied standing before them, she broke into laughter. Elder sister, you are the knowledge star. Is blocking in front of us not too risky? If Xinjie proposes that the connecting heaven ancient tomb should be apportioned according to ability, will little sister agree? Wu Xinjie enticed them. Of course, you must be dreaming, to speak of stealing things, who can compare to the thief star? Feishue's gaze looked all around. Where has little sister gone? I cannot find her. That is truly a pity. Wu Xinjie sighed. Han Bing's ice-cold gaze flashed with chilliness. The 33 dark sky star frost swords formed a sword array and descended. Wu Xinjie remained indifferent. Just when the flying swords were about to fall, shuffling arose in the air. The 8 gates black gold chains simultaneously unfurled and whirled about her surroundings, forming an iron defense. The immemorial sword chant unexpectedly was blocked. Han Bing was greatly surprised. The 8 gates black gold chain, no wonder elder sister is so bold. Then Feishue's brilliant flash heaven-shaking thunder, 11, shall test this. Feixue curled into a smile. 2 3-barreled cannons abruptly appeared on the girl's back. The pitch-black muzzles aimed at the knowledge star. Wu Xinjie could not help but be surprised. Silent Destruction Star Meteor Cannon. 12, Wu Xinjie's tone sunk. Assist Star Heaven-Shaking Thunder Ling Zhen, 13, paying you a visit. Ling Feixue laughed. Boom. The cannon fire was completely red, and red thunder suddenly roared forth. The underground palace rumbled, just like 10,000 galloping horses. The fire dragon was like falling rain. The defense of the 8 gates black gold chain let out louder and louder whines. Ling Feishue's face wore an innocent smile. The triple-barreled cannons hovering over her shoulders were more spiritual than flying swords. Immediately after Ling Feishue's chanting, it endlessly attacked. The fire dragons were practically endless. The ancient ground already had been torn into pieces by the fire dragons. The air burned with crackling sounds. When Han Bing saw, she controlled the 33 dark sky star frost swords to plunge into the cannon fire. The frost-like flying swords endlessly slashed against the 8 gates black gold chains, flashing sparks in all directions. Wu Xinjie stood in the center of the 8 gates black gold chain. Although the 8 gates black gold chain guarded against the pair's combined powerful attack, in the end, there was a limit. Cold sweat dotted her forehead, and following an even more berserk attack from Ling Feixue, the palace was already consumed by a sea of fire. Master! Hua Shui let out a grave warning. Wait! Wu Xinjie activated the 8 gates black gold chain. The black gold chain spiraled at an increasing rate, forming a storm. Ling Feixue chuckled, her cannons firing without any signs of stopping. Assist Star Heaven-Shaking Thunder Ling Zhen was using her skill with cannons. In Liangshan continent, cannons were indeed an extremely rare sight, and the reason was that they were not that useful. After all, each and every one of a star cultivator's abilities far outmatched a cannon. However, once in Ling Zhen's hands, things were completely different. Ling Zhen's star weapon Silent Destruction Star Meteor Cannon far surpassed the cannons of Liangshan continent. Sieges on castle walls were mere trifles, and particularly when a star weapon reached a certain level, it could destroy prehistoric spirit treasures. This type of powerful injury potential could not be matched by even some incredible star generals. However, Ling Zhen's Silent Destruction Star Meteor Cannon had one fatal flaw, which was its cannonballs. The cannon that Ling Zhen used was known as Flashing Brilliance Heaven-Shaking Thunder. In fact, to speak frankly, it was her own star energy converted into substance and then detonated. Just like star cultivators, star generals and the sword chi of flying swords, killing intent could seem to be substantial. Each boom consumed vast amounts of star energy. As far as the 52nd ranked assist star could say, to truly exhibit the might of the Silent Destruction Star Meteor Cannon, she required the support of a star master. Otherwise, her star energy would have been the first thing to not be able to persevere. For this reason, it could be said that Ling Zhen was one of the 108 star maidens who were required to sign a contract. Wu Xinjie saw that Han Bing's history was not clear, but her cultivation surprisingly reached supercluster stage. Her teamwork with Ling Zhen was simply terrifying somewhat. The situation would be bad if this continued. Every time Ling Feixue fired on the 8 gates black gold chain, she consumed her own star energy as well as Wu Xinjie's strength. The surroundings still had those flying swords lying in wait. The situation Wu Xinjie was confronted with could be said to be challenging. As expected of the legendary 8 gates black gold chain, the knowledge star's divine weapon. For elder sister to surprisingly have it in her possession, little sis is impressed. However, how much longer can you last? Ling Feixue leisurely said. Little sister ought worry about herself. Wu Xinjie smiled. Suddenly, several chains changed direction and flew towards Ling Feixue. Their speed was quick, instantly drawing near. Ling Feixue was taken aback. She hastily retreated, the silent destruction star meteor exploding with a fire dragon. There were fireworks, and a golden serpent emerged. Yellow rank technique, weather is not predictable. 2. Wu Xinjie shouted. The 8 gates black gold chains that had shot over shuddered. 1 became 2, 2 became 4, and layer upon layer of chains emerged, endlessly changing. Within a breath's time, there already were about to trap Ling Feixue. Han Bing shouted. The flying swords crossed and congregated into a line of ice. But the 8 gates black gold chain was full of changes, indeterminate. The flying swords surprisingly were incapable of a breakthrough. So powerful, this is the yellow move of the 8 gates black gold chain. Han Bing was astonished. She said, Feixue, careful. Ah, Ling Feixue's cannons continuously boomed. Although these cannons were powerful enough to stop the 8 gates black gold chain, the attack method was very clumsy. Several chains quietly arrived behind Ling Feixue, rolling over just like vines. Ling Feixue's body techniques already were extremely quick, but the 8 gates black gold chain's yellow technique weather is not predictable exceeded normal levels of power. Those black gold chains changed constantly, dazzling the eyes, completely unable to differentiate between what was real and fake. Ling Feixue hesitated for a moment. She was slow by only a step, and then she was trapped by the python-like 8 gates black gold chains. 5 black chains flowed with a dim light. Ling Feixue's face went pale. She was shocked to discover her star energy was incapable of blocking it. The black gold chains bundled up her body. Just at this moment, those white clothes on Ling Feixue's body suddenly issue a glaring white light. The black gold chains were suppressed by the white light, surprisingly incapable of breaking through for a time. Heavenly Spirit Astral Treasure Wu Xinjie was greatly surprised. Master, look out! Hua Shui suddenly shouted. Wu Xinjie threw herself, jumping out of the way. A sharp, crystalline sword stuck into the place she had been standing at. The surroundings immediately froze over. What a powerful magic weapon! Wu Xinjie promptly controlled the 8 gates black gold chain to first take down assist star heaven shaking thunder, but how could that Han Bing give her the chance? After her ice sealing sword was dodged, Han Bing softly yelled, and the palm of her hand flipped out a knife. Carved on the knife was a silver dragon, and the flat of the blade glinted with cold light. She threw that knife. That knife immediately became 5 phantom white dragons. These white dragons were like razors, turning into countless specters in the air. The 8 gates black gold chain was completely unable to stop them. Instantly, the dragons were in front of Wu Xinjie. Evil cleanup knife. 3. How could Wu Xinjie not recognize this treasure, for this surprisingly was the ranked 9th prehistoric spirit treasure of the spirit sealing list. The knowledge star's expression was solemn. She threw out several defensive talismans, and on the other hand, using the 8 gates black gold chain to bind Ling Feixue, to leave her with even less room. The 5 white dragon knife shadows whooshed and flashed on the talismans. Instantly, the high-grade talismans were ripped to shreds. Wu Xinjie's flew backwards slightly. Han Bing pointed. The 5 white dragons suddenly flashed onto Wu Xinjie, their cold-to-the-bone saber chi slashing her body with a rustle. Bang! Wu Xinjie could only helplessly recall the 8 gates black gold chains to defend. The chains coiled, and the ice-cold knife chi poured out of her body. Wu Xinjie endured the intense pain, retreating 100 meters. Her body had already been filled with cuts and bruises from the evil cleanup knife, leaving her unable to stand steadily. This was not over yet. Han Bing's finger pointed again. A puff of white smoke spurted out, transforming into a net. A white pearl manifested, about the size of the diameter of a bowl. Unexpectedly, it was yet another prehistoric spirit treasure. That white net covered and severed Wu Xinjie's escape route. The 33 dark sky star frost sword became a graceful waterfall that descended. Just what was the background of this woman? Consecutively using 2 prehistoric spirit treasures, Wu Xinjie did not dare be careless. The 8 gates black gold chain arranged into a dark and mysterious array, making the flying swords return with no results. Elder sister, it is my turn now. The panting Ling Feixue shouted. The silent destruction star meteor cannon blasted out fire dragons. These fire dragons blossomed in the sky, instantly forming a rain of fire. Crammed into the entire airspace of the palace, in front of Wu Xinjie was a shower of meteors and fire that was vast enough to make her feel stifled. Watch this dark rank technique. Ling Feixue shouted. Resonance. Han Bing waved her arm, and the star crest on Ling Feishue's forehead flickered, resonating. The fire rain in the sky instantly swelled several sizes, from its original thickness of about an arm to the width of a bucket. Elder sister, if you have not signed a contract, your death is certain. Boom. Countless drops of fire with sentience fell towards Wu Xinjie, completely with no place to hide from the swelling wind and thunder. The assist star's dark rank move. Thunderclap fire rain. The 8 gates black gold chain suddenly manifested an array, tightly encircling Wu Xinjie's surroundings. The knowledge star tightly bit her lip. Boom 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 boom, countless explosions rocked the underground palace upside down. The powerful airflow blew over countless pillars and buildings, and an immense hole suddenly appeared. Did she turn into ash? Ling Feixue thought. The smoke and fire still rolled and soared in the air. Those 8 gates black gold chains floating in the air disappeared, as if they had lost the light of life. Ling Feixue fired off a few more bursts, inspecting her front. Be careful. Han Bing's flying sword blocked. An 8 gates black gold chain that had suddenly flown over was stopped by the flying sword, leaving Ling Feixue in a cold sweat of shock. Han Bing struck a hand seal, activating an ability. Ice rose in the hall, and frost formed in the air. The flames were instantly extinguished. A girl stood inside a giant hole, or to be precise, stood on the 8 gates black gold chain above the hole. Several dozen lines of black gold chain emitted a lively dim light, coming alive and writing. How is this possible? Ling Feixue did not dare believe that the resonated dark rank would unexpectedly be able to defeat the defense of the 8 gates black gold chain. Little sister Feishue's star master truly makes Xinjie expand her horizons. Xinjie does not know what your background is, to be able to possess so many magic weapons. Are you of the Purple Firmament Immortal Palace or the Crystal Dragon Palace? Wu Xinjie smiled. Her appearance looked relaxed, yet on the inside, she was full of grimness. Master, the 8 gates black gold chain cannot last much longer. Hua Shui warned. Wu Xinjie grunted. Under Ling Feishue's powerful bombardment and Han Bing's immemorial flying swords and prehistoric spirit treasure, the defenses the 8 gates black gold could make already far outmatched the myriad spirit treasures. However, everything had a limit. Just one more time will do. Sure, Yuan is nearly done. Wu Xinjie thought to herself, her expression assuming an otherworldly adept's dismissive attitude. Whatever methods you have, fully use them. Xinjie also wishes to know where the limits of the 8 gates black gold chain lay at. Elder sister, you are too arrogant. Ling Feixue was furious. Her triple-barreled cannons rotated, then blasting out fire snakes. Han Bing's brows wrinkled. That thief star still was wantonly plundering the connecting heaven ancient tomb. She definitely did not wish to stand here and be stalled by the knowledge star, but to make Ling Feixue alone face the knowledge star, she could not rest at ease. Against a knowledge star able to wield the 8 gates black gold chain, the assist star perhaps was not an opponent. Her mind brainstormed. Han Bing extended a white wrist, and she suddenly blew gently. A completely white-haired and crystalline monkey that possessed a pair of diamond eyes the size of almonds jumped out. White treasure monkey. 5. Wu Xinjie was stunned. This white treasure monkey actually was not a star beast, but rather a sort of ancient strange beast that dwelled deep in the snowy mountains. Its figure was vigorous, more intelligent than humans and able to search for the treasures in the world. It picked treasures as if it was picking cabbage, thus it was called the white treasure monkey. This is bad. What is the background of this girl, to unexpectedly be able to have this strange beast? Wu Xinjie felt danger. In possession of the white treasure monkey, it was no wonder this girl had so many high magic treasures on her body. Go! Han Bing sneered. The white treasure monkey became a streak of ice and frost. Where do you think you are going? Wu Xinjie extended a hand and pointed. 8 gates black gold chain rolled over. How could she have anticipated that white treasure monkey would easily dodge, evading the black gold chain? Then, the star frost flying swords blocked to form a gap. The white treasure monkey's reactions were extremely quick, disappearing into the main hall with only several leaps, entering the inner chambers. Han Bing, let us properly entertain the knowledge star that possesses the 8 gates black gold chain. Ling Feixue rubbed her palms. Elder sister, allow Feixue to kindly ask, can you sign a contract? Wu Xinjie forced a smile. The connecting heaven ancient tomb was extraordinary, as expected, to surprisingly encounter such a powerful star master. Su Xing suddenly felt restless, a sense of danger bubbling up within his body. This danger was not at all coming from himself. He wondered how the girls were right now. At this moment, the battle of the Ruan sisters on the sea was like wildfire. Of Ruan Pinger and Ruan Mei'er, one was an adept at using star magic, and the other wielded extraordinary martial force. Hu Sanyang spurred her horse on through the billowing waves. Relying on the speed of the blood-sweat silver hair horse was somewhat successful, and add on the support of Su Xing's heaven tearing, the two impeded Ruan Pinger. On the other side, White Stripe in the waves finally made her move. Wild Bee Butterfly Wave. Zhang Yuqi's delicate hand waved. In her surroundings, countless sea sprays the size of bees and butterflies rose. Then, she pointed, and these bees and butterflies shot forth like cannonballs. The sound of bees was thunder-like. Ruan Mei'er was not worried at all. She raised the Dragon King whip dagger in her hand, and a water wall suddenly rose, blocking this wild bee butterfly wave. Zhang Yuqi, you surprisingly would take action for the sake of a star master. Ruan Mei'er's tone was full of a bit of unshakable confusion. Her palm lightly flipped, and the Anitya Dragon King beast violently spat a water sword. The waves crossed like swords, attacking wave after wave. The two of them similarly were water generals. At this time, the both of them staked everything to use water control star magic on one another. Ruan Mei'er understood that Zhang Yuqi naturally also understood this logic. In actuality, in Zhang Yuqi's decision to act, she understood she herself was at a disadvantage. After all, the other side had two water generals, both heavenly stars. Hu Sanyang was renowned as an earthly star 4 heavenly king, but after prolonged battle, defeat was inevitable. Zhang Yuqi's plan was to, in a spurt of energy, kill without a word. She needed only to beat them back. Damage star White Stripe in the waves. Zhang Yuqi was considerably clear that the real adept was that sword star Tai Sui who stands his ground, Ruan Shower, who had promoted and developed the 3 Ruan's water fort. Although her star name left people between laughter and tears, there was no need to doubt her strength. If she appeared on the scene, if the 3 sisters teamed up, Zhang Yuqi could only obediently choose to skedaddle. Ruan Mei'er's star magic shook apart Zhang Yuqi's wild bee butterfly wave. Zhang Yuqi did not take too great an advantage at all in the first wave of attacks. The girl calmly dodged in the huge wave, on one hand lowering the white water mirror heart while the urgent sea white spirit python unfurled its gigantic body to soar and biting onto the Dragon King beast. The two fierce demon beasts rolled about in the water. The book says that people who obstruct the progress of history shall be swept into the garbage bin of history. Ruan Mei'er still spoke in the middle of the ocean waves. One hand grabbed at the air, turning the seas into a sword that shot towards Zhang Yuqi. Her other hand hardly stopped the Dragon King dagger whip from attacking. Could it be that the book didn't say that people who say this sort of thing are the villains, and that their exit from the stage is very wretched? Zhang Yuqi giggled. The white water mirror heart danced in her palm. It was also 4-star, returning fire endlessly with seawater turned into shield and water flames. She completely was not at a disadvantage. Do you also read books? With doubt and also a hint of intimacy, Ruan Meier's Dragon King whip dagger once again swept, breaking open the water fire. Suddenly, she felt a chill. At this time, Su Xing had unexpectedly snuck behind her. With speed exceeding her imagination, he punched her. Bang! It carried a purple mansion immortal thunder. Ruan Mei'er instantly used a water shield to block, but she still was repelled. She showed shock. Zhang Yuqi also felt astonished. This man had to have been already exhausted by collecting the Gen Wu Divine Iron, right? Surprisingly, he could sneak without any warning and sneak attack Ruan Mei'er from behind. This honestly was too unbelievable, and that fist unexpectedly could jolt back Ruan Meier's defense. Hey! Is this guy a star general? What made Zhang Yuqi and the others even more shocked was that Su Xing did not control his flying swords or any astral tools. The two girls naturally did not know that Su Xing was really an arrow at the end of its path, but the innate skills that he had inherited were not so. Relying on Hu Sanyang's light smoke dance steps in addition to Shi Yuan's hiding, Yan Yizhen's fist magic, Lin Yingmei's battle doctrine, and even wandering the clear skies, things were not so simple as 1 + 1 = 2. But it was a pity that Shi Yuan's hiding would break with the slightest use of killing intent. His own star energy was not very concentrated, this punch's substantial threat not at all too great, but it was enough to interrupt Ruan Meier's cold tempo. With her tempo ruined, next was Su Xing's time. Ruan Mei'er caught the punch and was sent flying backwards, on one hand pushing away the purple immortal thunder on her body, while at the same time controlling the messy seawater with rapt attention. Large numbers of water swords soared into the air, attacking Su Xing from all directions. Su Xing called forth his flying swords, engaging them in battle. Bang! The Dragon King dagger drilled through a blind spot in the flying sword's defenses. Ruan Mei'er drew near, her gaze cold. Su Xing's wandering the clear skies and light smoke dance steps evaded her. Compared to the flight of riding swords, the greatest advantage of wandering the clear skies was the even greater agility. Ruan Xiaoqi, where are you going? Zhang Yuqi laughed. Seawater shot into the sky, becoming a wave of bees and butterflies. Ruan Meier's Dragon King whip wove a net. Her right seemed to have been struck by several of the bees, and a numb feeling burned at her elbows' nerves. Su Xing's hands clapped his hands together to form purple thunder, rushing towards Ruan Mei'er. Did those books teach you that it's best to not go 1-on-2 during battle? His left hand held the purple mansion immortal thunder as a defense, and his right hand waved, slashing the air with a sword-like purple thunder as he chased Ruan Mei'er. The Purple Thunder Dragon slaying was currently one of the Purple Mansion immortal thunder powers Su Xing had that concentrated his energy into a point. It was also the only thing that could constitute a threat to a star general. The attacks it burst with very extraordinary. Ruan Meier's pupils contracted, breaking over with the Dragon King dagger. I like this. Zhang Yuqi mockingly laughed. The damaged star's attack immediately followed suit. Even Ruan Mei'er was in a bit of a fluster. The ocean endlessly roared and rolled. Ruan Meier's long robe very quickly showed countless tears. Ruan Mei'er coldly grunted. Her hand waved, and the seawater drenched her body. Instantly, her wounds recovered. Truly, it's a pretty good innate skill. Zhang Yuqi sighed. Discourteous. Ruan Mei'er's pupils shrunk, and her star energy swelled again. The seawater violently spat out water sword after water sword. Zhang Yuqi used star magic to stall Ruan Mei'er. Su Xing once again leaned forward, punching, detonating the purple thunder in the air to blind Ruan Mei'er. However, Su Xing's boxing attacks mostly were blocked by star magic. The seawaters were like blades, cutting into his body. Finally, Su Xing stopped his attack. His star energy had been wrung dry, the boxing he wielded already incapable of constituting any further threat. Are you actually a star master? Ruan Mei'er felt even more doubtful. A coldness flashed across her eyes, and she gently waved the Dragon King dagger. The killing intent over the waters soared along her star weapon, condensing into an azure dragon. She did not hesitate at all to use her dark rank technique. Azure dragon breaking eastern wind. Flying star magpie dance. A shout interjected. The golden wind and morning dew double sabers blocked in front of Su Xing, the saber wing violently guesting. The dragon roar rolled and pressured Hunyangzi. Hu Sanyang, you dare underestimate me. Ruan Ping'er hatefully said. The alligator dragon's claws came together, and the seas rolled with 100 zhang tsunami, water dragons that coiled towards the sky. Watch my water-flooding Dragon King temple. The Guilt Star short-lived second brother's dark rank simultaneously executed. All rivers reach seas. Zhang Yuqi shouted. 3 heavenly stars and 1 earthly star, the dark ranks of the 4 practically activated at the same time. The seas seemed to boil. A gale, downpour, killing intent, and saber chi crisscrossed together. The 100 cultivators of the 3 Ruan's water fort forming the barrier hastily retreated a kilometer in shock. Thus, the still breeze quiet waves array immediately crumbled under the 4 dark ranks. Thunder rolled, rumbling in their ears. Su Xing only felt that the space all around pressed in from every direction, not stopping until he was crushed to pieces. If it was not for his abnormally powerful divine consciousness, under the attack of this type of perilous situation, he probably long would have already fainted. Several of the nearby islands were destroyed, and a long while afterwards. Only then did the ocean finally resume its calm. The still breeze quiet waves array had collapsed under the 4 dark ranks. Surprisingly, you still live. Ruan Ping'er ground her teeth, inwardly regretful that had Zhang Shun not used all rivers reach seas to absorb some of the seawater's power, on these waters, an already exhausted supercluster cultivator absolutely could not have survived. Zhang Yuqi, I feel that you truly have a waterlogged brain, to surprisingly help a future enemy. Ruan Ping'er coldly said. A water general's brain has always had a bit of water. Zhang Yuqi covered her mouth, also mocking the Ruan Ping'er and Ruan Mei'er who were water generals, too. Ruan Ping'er evilly said, death is at hand, yet you still do not admit a mistake. Yuqi, you had better run quickly. Su Xing said, already deciding to use the chaotic tail escape. Originally, collecting the Gen Wu divine iron already was a disadvantage. Now, the Ruan sisters were on the seas that they liked the most. Su Xing had met his share of powerful enemies, but he was self-aware that this was the greatest bad luck. His powers were depleted, and there was not much left of his star energy, even unable to activate a prehistoric spirit treasure. The Ruan sisters still were spry and lively. This is a good suggestion. Ruan Ping'er smiled. Indeed. Zhang Yuqi said approvingly, Ruan Ping'er, Ruan Mei'er, why hasn't the sword star come? Don't the 3 Ruan sisters like fighting together? Sort you out, just 7th sister and I are enough. Zhang Shun, do you think you can triumph over the 2 of us? Ruan Ping'er arrogantly said. Today, you will be buried here. Actually, what Yuqi meant, was that you 2 elder sisters had better run away quickly. Zhang Yuqi winked, without the slightest bit of awareness of danger. What are you saying? Ruan Ping'er was about to jeer. Suddenly, at this moment, a raging flame ignited on the sea and spread over several thousand meters. The surging ocean surprisingly was unable to extinguish this fire, which shocked the Ruan cultivators. A faint wind threw itself in their faces. Su Xing felt a powerful imposing aura roll overward. Sword Star Ruan shower. Seeing the Ruan sisters wear expressions of astonishment, Su Xing denied this thought. Don't tell me it's her. Su Xing was somewhat unable to believe. That strange flame instantly burned before them. In the flames astonishingly was a completely red as flame whale beast. On the whale's back stood a red-clothed girl. She had a red brocade and corset, damask and silk, floating red hair, and eyes like flames. Ah! Originally, the Ruan Pinger and Ruan Mei'er who had believed victory was at hand simultaneously showed expressions of astonishment. Who is the one without eyes that said they would bury my little sister here? I, Feixue, want to see how many of them can be buried here. The red lips of the young girl who appeared 16 or 17 burst with intense, fiery anger. The sea within a range of 100 meters suddenly burned with a scathing flame, reflecting crimson into the sky. Elder sister, you've come, Zhang Yuqi helplessly said. Little sister, is this Star Master bullying you? Humph, truly weak. I shall kill him then. The young girl looked around, inevitably treating Su Xing the Star Master as an enemy. Her fingers clenched, and flames spiraled around. Without using the birth treasure outline, Su Xing could guess who she was. The 28th ranked Balanced Star Boatman Zhang Heng. Balanced Star Boatman Zhang Heng. Hu Sanyang clenched tight golden wind and morning dew. Although she was already spent, her expression did not shrink back in the slightest. Zhang Feixue lifted several fireballs that she was about to throw when Zhang Yuqi hastily stopped her. Elder sister, you're making a mistake. It's not Su Xing, it's the Ruan sisters. Boatman Zhang Feiyue's burning eyes widened. She harumphed several times, turning her head. Little sisters Ruan, for two people to bully my little sister by herself, you think we Zhangs are nobody? The sea of fire rolled, and a faint wind hit them in the face. Ruan Pinger hardly accepted this. Boatman Zhang Heng, do you also wish to become enemies with the three Ruan's water fort? Your little sister surprisingly helped a Star Master. As her elder sister, is your brain also waterlogged? Fuck your elder sister, you dare scold me? The boatman shouted, and several fireballs shot over with a shriek. This little girl's character was fiery. Without saying another word, she released several dozen giant fireballs. The fins of the burning whale, star beast under her legs flapped, and the seawater shot into the sky, becoming pillars of fire. Among all the water generals, Balanced Star Boatman Zhang Heng was clearly rather unconventional. As the name implied, water generals were experts at maritime battle, but although Zhang Heng was a water general, as it happened, she was an expert in fire. She could use seawater to create inextinguishable flames that gave all star generals a headache. Zhang Yuqi pointed, turning water into a sword and attacked together with her elder sister. Ruan Pinger and Ruan Mei'er continuously used star magic. But after using a dark rank, it was clear they were no match for a fully angry boatman. This Zhang Feiyue's temperament was considerably angry. After releasing several fireballs, her hand clenched, and a completely red jade broadsword, with 3 twinkling stars. This was her star weapon, Flaming Fish King Saber. 2. Today, this old lady shall fuck you 2 little foul footers. 3. To death. Zhang Yufei's legs kicked. Her cloak blew upwards, and her figure soared into the sky. The Flaming Fish King Saber slashed a blazing saber technique. Zhang Yufei, you hoodlum, clean out your mouth. Even Ruan Pinger was somewhat red-faced as she cursed without restraint. Ha, ha, you clean yourself first, see how well this old lady will make you. Zhang Feiyue's saber technique was continuously oppressive. The flames on this saber made Ruan Pinger and Ruan Mei'er's water-type magic completely evaporate. The Ruan sisters were confronted with a great enemy, being cut with many injuries by the sparks. Zhang Feixue danced with the blazing Fish King saber magnificently, all the while unceasingly uttering considerable trash talk. Su Xing could tell, the Zhang Feixue before him was probably a gangster. Even Zhang Yuqi felt awkward. Elder sister has only forgotten her manners, so her speech isn't so pleasant to hear, Su Xing smiled. She's very incredible. Is she a martial force water general? That's right. When did you call her over? Su Xing asked. Last night. Zhang Yuqi smiled and replied. She looked at the sky. Her elder sister had suppressed the two, and Zhang Yuqi occasionally let out star magic for support, happily idle as she chatted with Su Xing. Su Xing recalled the scene of Zhang Yuqi using her star crest on the cliffside. He suddenly understood that it turned out to be that time that she had contacted her elder sister. The girl's meticulous thinking made Su Xing feel ashamed of his inferiority. You two take care of yourselves first. After this, it will be a battle between elder and little sisters. Zhang Yuqi smiled. Su Xing nodded. Even if he wanted to help, he could not. Zhang Yuqi flew up and joined the battle. Although what Zhang Feixue uttered was unpleasant to listen to, her attack methods were direct and efficient, succinct and quick. Saber light and saber shadows crisscrossed, flames and seawater encountering one another. The Ruan sisters retreated in defeat step by step. Hearing Zhang Feiyu's endless low-class language, Wan Pingers was angered enough that blood pooled inside her chest. Fifth sister, do not mind her words. Ruan Mei'er still had an expression of calmly continuing in her own way. Her martial force was pretty good, mostly thanks to the chilly whip wind that the Dragon King dagger whip drew out, not allowing Zhang Feiyu's burning fire to prevail. Watch elder sister strip you naked. Zhang Feixue curled a lascivious grin. Her right hand held her saber, and her left palm slid across the flat of the saber. The flames then surged even more aggressively. This is bad. The Ruan sisters simultaneously changed expressions, forming defenses without the slightest hesitation. The flames on the saber puffed and rolled out, becoming two fire dragons. Zhang Feixue then slashed. The two fire dragons circled the Ruan sisters and formed a storm. Yellow rank saber technique, fish dragon roaming fire. The seawater was boiled. The Ruan sisters could barely block it, but the clothing on their bodies turned to charred shreds just as Zhang Feixue said. The two were absolutely naked. Second boss. Third boss. The cultivators of the three Ruan's water fort were incapable of sitting idle and were about to step forward to provide assistance. Whoever dares to step forward, I'll gouge their eyes out. Ruan Ping'er was extremely furious. Her hand then waved, and she was covered in a long robe. Yet Ruan Mei'er remained aloof at her own nakedness, but because her children's picture book had been burned, her eyes already showed true fury. Seventh sister, we shall go for now. Have big sister come teach her a lesson. Ruan Ping'er knew that the both of them had no way to defeat the Zhang sisters, and she called out to Ruan Mei'er. Ruan Mei'er cracked her whip. In her extreme anger, the water soared, and Zhang Feixue retreated. You Zhang sisters are lunatics, to surprisingly go help a star master. Ruan Ping'er hatefully glared at Su Xing, immediately recalling the ancient dragon alligator. The Anitya Dragon King beast also broke free of the Urgent Sea's white spirit python, and the two girls sat on the star beast, leaving. Zhang Heng, Zhang Shun, today's humiliation, the Ruan sisters will take revenge at Black Turtle Temple. If you have the guts, then do not come. A sentence of indignation was thrown over. The other cultivators removed the array and promptly escaped. Truly the saying of a classic villain. Zhang Yuqi giggled. Little sister, you can still laugh. That elder sister Ruan Jiner cannot be handled. Why have you offended the three Ruan sisters? Zhang Feixue landed on the burning whale. Inquisitively, she again turned her gaze to Su Xing, her hostility not yet diminished. And what is with this star master? Seeing her fiery expression, there was an abundance of the meaning. You acted without clearly understanding the situation. It'll take too long to explain, however, Yuqi didn't seek elder sister out to come help fight. Yuqi has something to consult elder sister about. Zhang Yuqi giggled. A supercluster stage star master. To surprisingly star duel against the Ruans on the seas, truly, you are courting death. Zhang Feixue disdainfully looked at Su Xing, stowing her raging flames. Elder sister, let us leave quickly. If that sword star truly comes, things will be bad. Zhang Yuqi helplessly said. Boatman Zhang Feixue temper slightly exploded, but mentioning that sword star Taisui who stands his ground Ruan shower, she clearly had some misgivings. That whore, 5, surprisingly dares to pressure this old lady, truly detestable. Sooner or later, I, Feixue, will ruthlessly pin her under my body, and, bleep, her 100 times. 6. Su Xing wiped his sweat. This woman honestly upset his heart. It was not her body, but her language. Su Xing, you must feel that Yuqi is an angel right now. Zhang Yuqi derisively laughed. Su Xing thought the same. The group immediately left the Black Turtle Sea. Although things had taken many twists and turns, Su Xing nearly was smashing his head over this Gen Wu Divine Iron, but regardless, obtaining the Gen Wu Divine Iron made Su Xing let out a deep breath. The earth element flying sword finally fell into his possession. But Su Xing's brows deeply furrowed. The worry that had appeared before was still lingering in his heart. Dear husband, are you worried about the 3 Ruan sisters? Hun Yangzi said. Su Xing shook his head. I'm only suddenly very anxious about Xinjie and Yuaner. Star Masters and Star Maidens both had a reaction. Even if they were separated by 1,000 li, 10,000 li, any danger that happened, he would have a sort of unease. Hun Yangzi did not know who Xinjie or Yuaner were, but seeing Su Xing's distress, she only treated them as his true wives and remained silent. Connecting Heaven Ancient Tomb. A thunder roll rumbled, and an explosion rocked the underground palace. The exquisite reliefs and paintings collapsed one after another, turning into ruins before the fury of a fire dragon. Elder Sister Knowledge Star, you still will not run? Ling Feixue controlled the silent destruction star meteor cannon into an unceasing rumble. The cannon's muzzle spat out a fire dragon. This 8 gates black gold chain truly was loathsome, like a cobweb, entangling their movements. The space of the underground palace was originally confining, and this made the 8 gates black gold chain exhibit its peak performance even more. Han Bing continuously used the evil cleanup knife and several powerful magic weapons, but they were all astonishingly dispelled by Wu Xinjie. However, the immemorial sword chance still brought Wu Xinjie great trouble. Master, it is better to allow Hua Shui to cover Master's escape. Hua Shui said. You cannot for the time being. Wu Xinjie flew quickly around in the underground palace, her feet stepping on heavenly spirits, her legs walking on earthly fiends. Combined with the 8 gates black gold chains array, she walked with a sort of heavenly spirits earthly fiends step, wonder. Let alone that the knowledge star was only one person, this 8 gates black gold chain had more uses than 100 people. Han Bing could understand why the knowledge star who lacked martial force could once ascend Maiden Mountain. Indeed, this 8 gates black gold chain was powerful. This also made Han Bing have the idea to kill Wu Xinjie with one strike. However, seeing that the knowledge star did not have a star master at her side, as if she did not have a contract, also made Han Bing have the thought to rope her in. She wavered repeatedly. Han Bing was slightly hesitant, her attacks no longer as straightforward as before. Knowledge star, how about we make a deal? Han Bing suddenly said. Han Bing. Ling Feixue was confused. Oh, speak. Wu Xinjie hid among the densely packed array of chains and spoke. You sign a contract with me, and we shall ascend Maiden Mountain together. Are you giving up on little sister Feixue? Wu Xinjie mockingly laughed. A knowledge star that possesses the 8 gates black gold chain, perhaps I can contract a pair of stars. Han Bing said. The 8 gates black gold chain stopped, as if the master of the chains was currently considering the possibility of this. Ling Feixue saw this and stopped her attack, but she did not dare be careless. What is your answer? Han Bing asked. Why not try, elder sister? Ling Feixue said, friendly. And what happens if you cannot contract? Wu Xinjie pensively said. I can let you off, so long as you are willing to try. I have a twin stars button. Reportedly, by possessing this treasure, one can contract 2 stars. Han Bing's wrist flipped, and a button appeared. Wu Xinjie was hoarse. She never expected that Han Bing surprisingly had this sort of legendary treasure. As expected of someone who possessed a white treasure monkey. Narrowing her eyes, Wu Xinjie then said, "First tell Xinjie just who you are, white." Just as Han Bing was about to speak, having uttered only one word, she suddenly concentrated her expression and patted her astral bag. A gold-lettered treasure book floated out. Birth Treasure Outline. Wu Xinji was even more astonished, she surprisingly even had the birth treasure outline. Where did this cheat little girl pop out from? You signed a contract. Han Bing's face chilled. Correct, Xinjie has not only signed a contract, but she has also given her virginity to Lord Husband, he. What? The 2 girls were shocked. Watch the 8 Gates Black Gold Chain's dark rank technique. Careful that you do not die. Wu Xinjie suddenly shouted. Wu Xinjie's eyes glowed. The 8 Gates Black Gold Chain frantically moved about like a living snake, coiling into an array. The Ling Feixue and Han Bing who had experienced the yellow rank of the 8 Gates Black Gold Chain already had lingering fears. Hearing that she was about to use her dark rank technique, the 2 of them did not hesitate to assume their most powerful defensive stances. The 8 Gates Black Gold Chain shot over with a rustle. It struck around them. That sort of heaven-shaking and earth-quaking power that they expected did not appear at all. Even more, there was no killing intent at all. Han Bing and Ling Feixue glanced at each other. The flying swords slashed, and the cannons fired. There was a resounding quake. The 8 Gates Black Gold Chain thus faded away into thin air just like this. Just then, they spotted a shadow turn a long corridor. She ran. Ling Feixue stuck out her tongue. Although this was within expectations, this was still a bit unbelievable. Han Bing wrinkled her brows. She did not expect that the knowledge star would be so daring to slink away. On second thoughts, her birth treasure outline had exposed her identity. The knowledge star knew she was not an opponent, even if she was any more arrogant. Shall we pursue? Heaven-shaking thunder Ling Feixue inquired her master. No need. This place also has the thief star. Let us first go find treasures. Han Bing thought. Han Bing tried to use divine intent to call the white treasure monkey. Calling several times without any response, the young girl's face chilled. She struck several hand seals, sung an incantation, and at this time, only then did Han Bing show a shocked expression. Han Bing, what is the matter? Ling Feixue nervously asked. This is bad, we were fooled. Han Bing was extremely unsightly. She used an escape technique to fly out of the palace, so much so that she no longer cared about the things inside the connecting heaven ancient tomb. Ling Feixue was deeply aware things were serious and also followed her. The white treasure monkey has been captured by the thief star. Han Bing spat out each word one by one with ice-cold wording. What? How is this possible? Han Bing, did you not subjugate the white treasure monkey, use divine intent to control it? Perhaps the knowledge star possesses some trick. Just now, I called several times without any response. Han Bing grit her teeth. Ling Feixue also turned grim, no wonder the knowledge star kept on staying just then, it seems it was to allow the thief star to seize the white treasure monkey. As expected of such a clever scheme, this time, I absolutely will not let her go. Ice formed in Han Bing's hair, turning into a cold light. Wherever she passed, ice and frost formed. Just as Han Bing and Ling Feixue were flying to pursue Wu Xinjie, they would never have thought that not long after they left, 2 youthful girls would walk out from a corner of the main hall. Sister Xinjie is truly amazing, to surprisingly use this move to fool them. The girl in black skin-tight clothes laughed into her sleeve. She was Shi Yuan. And the blue-clothed woman beside Shi Yuan was, without a doubt, knowledge star Wu Xinjie. Long story short, as Han Bing had anticipated, the reason why Wu Xinjie stalled them was indeed for Shi Yuan's signal. Afterwards, having received Shi Yuan's sound transmission, only then did she intimidatingly call out that she was using her dark rank technique to make the two of them worry. With the terror of the 8 gates black gold chains yellow rank, she believed they would be very careful, and this gave Wu Xinjie her chance. She did not leave at all. On the contrary, she went further in. Anyone else would never have been able to expect that such a dangerous opponent would not run but instead hide right next to them. It was precisely because of this psychology that Wu Xinjie successfully deceived them. As for the shadow that Han Bing chased after, that was nothing more than the 3 burrows crafty rabbit. Just how did you manage to capture the white treasure monkey? Wu Xinjie was very surprised. If she did not know that Shi Yuan had secretly captured the white treasure monkey, she would not necessarily have faced danger like this. If she knew that she could not draw them away from this place, sooner or later, they would have been found out. This young lady is but a genius. Shi Yuan giggled. She extended a hand and brought out the white treasure monkey that was on death's door. It seemed to be dead, but it breathed. It was merely like a puppet. This young lady lost a 5 poisons banner in order to extract its soul. So much time was wasted. If this young lady was not worried for elder sister, Yuaner could not possibly do it so quickly. Extract its soul. So it turned out that just as Shi Yuan was searching for money and valuables in the connecting heaven ancient tomb, suddenly, a white treasure monkey jumped out. This white treasure monkey could be called quick, far more incredible than the 3 burrows crafty rabbit. Furthermore, with an inhale of its nose, those treasures directly entered its belly, which made Shi Yuan's heart worried. Shi Yuan naturally would not side idly by and thereupon wanted to drive off this white treasure monkey. How could she have anticipated that this white treasure monkey was abnormally powerful, that it would spray ice and frost and spit magic weapons, making Shi Yuan nearly return to the star nest? Afterwards, Shi Yuan laid down her newly repaired 5 poisons array, once again using the 1,000 layers 10,000 knots web to catch this white treasure monkey. Finally, Shi Yuan suddenly had a bright idea. She used the MO attack mechanism record's soul refinement technique to extract this white treasure monkey's soul. By doing so, Han Bing naturally did not have access to summon it using her divine intent. It's a pity that this white treasure monkey destroyed this young lady's 5 poisons banner. This was but something Su Xing specially gifted to Yuaner. Shi Yuan rubbed her nose, somewhat grieved. Wu Xinjie smiled, consoling her, just go back and have Lianxin help you reforge it. This time, Yuaner, you have rendered great service, to surprisingly be able to catch this white treasure monkey. Go back and have young lord refine the soul. Young lord will definitely love you painfully. Yuaner wants that kind of pain, Shi Yuan blushed. Wu Xinjie, before Maiden Mountain's trials, do not do this for the time being. If some accident were to occur, that would be the end. This trip to the connecting heaven ancient tomb was dangerous even for us. To have surprisingly encountered this kind of star master, these star duels are deeply hidden and unrevealed, as expected. Just who was that woman? So many magic weapons, and even a birth treasure outline. Surprisingly, Shi Yan was in disbelief. Xinjie fears she is the White Tiger Territory's star master. Wu Xinjie's tone sunk. The White Tiger Territory's star master. Shi Yuan went blank. The White Tiger Territory, the Liangshan continent's most terrifying territory. That place was a place of legendary prehistory and antiquity. There were countless immemorial demon beasts, and each one was powerful without compare. In addition, these immemorial and prehistoric demons beasts could cultivate to become demi-kings, several times more powerful than star cultivators. The White Tiger Territory unexpectedly can turn out a star master. That was very abnormal. However, this actually could explain the multiple prehistoric spirit treasure on Han Bing's body. Only the White Tiger Territory had the materials that could forge these prehistoric spirit treasure defensive items. Forget it, let's quickly search for any other useful things in the connecting heaven ancient tomb. Han Bing will definitely come back soon. Shi Yuan warned, right? Elder sister's star weapon perhaps can advance to 4-star. N? Ha, Yuan'er has found a connecting heaven treasure depository. Really, then let us go quickly. Right. Along the way, Shi Yuan recalled Wu Xinjie's bluff at the end. She curiously asked, Sister Xinjie, has elder sister comprehended the dark rank of the 8 gates black gold chain? Wu Xinjie shook her head. So difficult. The knowledge star was the fastest of all the star maidens at comprehending the heaven-earth dark yellow techniques, and to unexpectedly still not have comprehended the dark rank of the 8 gates black gold chain, these chains honestly were abnormal. So long as we can upgrade the 8 gates black gold chain a few stars, this way can still defeat them. Wu Xinjie touched her forehead. How can things be so easy? Young Lord used so much effort for Xinjie, yet this 8 gates black gold chain is only 1 star. It will work this time. Su Xing, a voice rose in Su Xing's mind. Su Xing returned to his senses and saw the 3 girls were all staring at him. Sorry, I was preoccupied just now. Su Xing apologized. The unease in his heart had vanished. It appeared that the danger had passed, and there was no response in the star nest. That made it clear the beauties were all right. Su Xing finally relaxed. For this man to still be able to surprisingly lose focus when he is together with us 3 beautiful girls, do you want to make Feixue mercilessly fuck you? Zhang Feixue disdainfully said. You dare be discourteous to dear husband? Hun Yangzi coldly glared at her. Zhang Feixue looked Hun Yangzi up and down and clicked her tongue, as expected of the number 1 beauty of our sisters, you have actually convenienced this man. Don't fight. Zhang Yuqi was helpless. Where were we just now? Su Xing asked. Any way it was put, Zhang Feixue had helped him just now, so she counted as a benefactor. We were talking about the Black Turtle Temple. Zhang Yuqi said, Elder sister, we will still have to trouble elder sister. Is this man worthy of belief? Zhang Feixue was somewhat impatient. Little sister, he was so useless just now. Oh, please, elder sister. Su Xing is very exceptional, but we just came up from harvesting Gen Wu divine iron from the deep sea. Even if Great Saint Starkiller appeared, we long would have already been doomed. Zhang Yuqi explained for Su Xing, Gen Wu divine iron. Zhang Feixue looked at Su Xing with a whole new level of respect. She naturally knew of the formidability of the Gen Wu divine iron, and she had once requested her little sister to go collect some, but it was basically unobtainable during the previous phase. You helped him like this? Zhang Feixue did not hide anything. Little sister has the white water mirror heart. Elder sister does not need to worry about this. Zhang Yuqi flaunted her ring. Alright. We Zhang sisters naturally will enter the Black Turtle Temple together. Those 3 Ruan sisters, at that time you will be taught a proper lesson. Then it's settled. Zhang Yuqi smiled. I shall confer with that woman of mine, too. Zhang Feixue kneaded Zhang Yuqi's cheeks into a funny face. However, my little sister has brought with her an additional man. My woman perhaps will be nervous. How about this, we shall meet another day. Yuqi called elder sister precisely for this. Zhang Yuqi cheerfully said. However, we definitely have to make the water illusion fairy, 3, agree. Alright, if she does not agree then elder sister will, bleep, her 100 times, ha, ha. Zhang Feixue laughed aloud. Seeing the Zhang sisters tenderly chat, Su Xing noticed that Zhang Feiyu's character was a bit on the bad side, but she still loved her little sister very dearly. Her fiery eyes had a trace of doting. If you dare deceive my little sister, Feixue will castrate you. Before she left, Zhang Feixue warned Su Xing, elder sister, don't, Yuqi doesn't want that. Yuqi still wants to see the sisters blow the flute. Zhang Yuqi mockingly said. Blow the flute. On another day, elder sister will show you how to blow the flute. Zhang Feixue did not know the hidden meaning in Zhang Yuqi's words. Su Xing could not help but smile. Zhang Yuqi also chortled. Okay, Yuchi will look forward to elder sister blowing Su Xing's flute. Hearing these words, even Hunyangzi could not help but curl up the corner of her lips. Zhang Feiyu's cheeks turned a rare red, and she glared at her. Is a slut like you missing a man's love? 5. Zhang Yuchi stuck out her tongue. After Zhang Feiyu left, Su Xing asked Zhang Yuchi, has she signed a contract? Yes, her name is the Water Illusion Fairy. Zhang Yuchi teased Su Xing. Su Xing, don't you feel very regretful? Don't you want to eat us sisters up? You, maybe. But her, I fear not even bones will be left. Su Xing made fun of her. You want to eat Yuchi, Zhang Yuchi retained a tantalizing smile. She lifted her collar and erotically exposed a great expanse of her perfectly round snow whiteness. Su Xing smiled. I'll first go seek out Lianxin to forge the flying swords, then we'll talk later. Lianxin? The two girls were taken aback. My seventh wife. Su Xing smiled at Hunyangzi. Wife, I'll introduce you in a moment. Yuchi, do you want to come along? Sure, Yuchi honestly is curious how many beauties young Su has stashed away in his golden house. 6. Zhang Yuchi winked, teasing him. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.